Here comes the Shaw Eagles. Making their way onto the field at Haas Memphis Stadium, and next door neighbor rivals just playing for bragging rights, the West Jefferson Buccaneers. Good look at Scott Payne's father and go downstairs to our field reporter joining us for tonight's broadcast, Stephanie Altman. Stephanie.
Thank you, Ken. Now, these schools are only 2 miles apart, and they even share a stadium, yet they haven't played a regular season game against each other this century. They did face off in the Jamboree last year, where Shaw won 18-7. I'm sure tonight, though, the Buccaneers will be looking for revenge. Ken and Wade, back to you.
You bet they probably will be. Very nicely done, Stephanie, and we are set to go. West Jefferson in red with the silver headgear, and Shaw in their green and white. I think a lot of people have been waiting for a good regular season game between these two teams for quite a while now. And this will be Regas with the opening carry. He's got room and tripped up as he crosses midfield. He almost took it to the house to start this game with an electric return.
Well, he's an all-purpose guy, Ken. He'll not only run the ball downhill for their offense, but he'll catch kickoff returns, he'll catch punts, he'll also catch the ball out of the backfield. He's an all-purpose guy, and that's the way Scott Spain's fathers like to use him.
36-yard return, and here comes quarterback Matt Keller, 6'1", 200 pounds, a senior. Good little quarterback who can get it done for you. Has some experience. He's passed for 283 yards last week in the battle against Turling's Catholic. He'll work from the shotgun to get things started. They'll keep it on the ground. Here comes McCoy. And Denzel McCoy just for a few. Here's some key players to look at for both teams, offensively and defensively. First, we talked about Trey Regas for Shaw.
Right. Well, Trey Regas is going to depend a lot on Justin Adams, their returning center, as well as Cameron Jackal, who is also going to be a fine offensive lineman. He'll be a college prospect in a couple of years. Then you got the West Jeff defense. They're going to rely on stopping the run with Big Don Bienemy up front and Dijon James at linebacker, and a really athletic athlete in the secondary, Dijon Thompson.
Now somebody moved, flags are down, and Matt Keller was standing back there all alone. He had even moved Regas.
All start. Offense, number 58. 5 yards, still second down.
I thought he was done. Our referee is Mort Galbraith.
Well, you just don't want to start behind the chains. I know most coaches that are offensively minded coaches, especially offensive coordinators, they do not want to start behind the chains on second and long, and they're facing second and long right here.
Remember this about Matt Keller. He can run the ball as well as pass the ball. He had 95 yards passing last week, but also 75 yards rushing in the loss to Turling's Catholic. So this young man can get it done, whether he's playing from the shotgun or run to center. He'll let Regas do it around the right side, and Regas has the first down. He'll move the chains for Shaw, so they get the penalty yardage back and a little bit more on it.
All right, you're going to hear me talk about it a lot tonight. It's going to be the inside and the outside zone stretch. Seems like every week I'm talking about that because that's one of the big plays now that you see at this level. You'll see Regas take the outside zone stretch. He gets to the edge right there. There's no force player from the West Jeff defense, and he rambles for 14 yards and picks up the first down.
Good field position at the 36-yard line of West Jeff. Opening drive of this football game. Regas looking for a hole. Buccaneers close it. Look at that drive and that push by Regas to get inside the 30-yard line.
Well, one of the keys tonight for West Jeff is they're going to have to shut down the run game. Coach Crutchfield said that earlier in the week. They've got to be able to shut down Trey Regas. And then offensively, I'm going to tell you right now, Shaw's large keys are, number one, they've got to do a good job up front, but they're going to also, when they have to throw the ball, pick up blitzing linebackers because they're going to see a lot of that from a really good West Jeff defense tonight.
Well, so far the offensive line has answered that call to your keys to the game, Wade, on this opening drive. They'll stay with Regas again. Regas slanting to the left side and pushing for a 5-yard gain up to the, or 4-yard gain. They'll mark it at the 26-yard line.
Yeah, we were talking about Matt Keller just a couple of plays ago. I was talking with Scott Bain's father before the game. He described Matt Keller in this way. There's Matt Keller right there as being one of those hard-nosed West Bank young men that, play at all these schools over here on this side of the river. And I'll tell you what, I remember the young man when he was a sophomore playing as a wide receiver and a backup running back.
Gives to Regas again, and hey, why not stay with the horse who's driving it down the field, getting it inside the red zone, inside the 20-yard line. That'll move the chains for another first down. Talking about Matt Keller, you're right, you saw him as a sophomore.
Right. Saw him as a sophomore, and he, at that time, he was a wide receiver because he was such a good athlete, and he was a backup running back to Trey Regas, who was at that time a sophomore.
Last year as a junior, 75 for 139, threw for 1,403 yards and 12 touchdowns and rushed for 385 more leading into this year. And he's hoping this year can be a year where he caps off something special. He'll keep it this time, run himself. Here goes Keller, the quarterback, and look at him fight his way inside the 10-yard line down to about the 6.
Well, they fake the outside zone stretch to Regas. He pulls the ball and he runs up inside on quarterback ISO, wraps the backside guard around, leads up in the hole, and there goes Keller right here. There's the fake, there's the ISO, right up, big hole right there. You can see number 61's helmet came off. He'll have to come off the field for one play. They'll get another offensive lineman on him.
Well, they did, but the guy coming in is Mitch Schaefer, and he's one of the starters on the offensive line on that left side anyway, so you're getting an experienced player in there on this first down play. Regas gets the call, and this time West Jeff bottles up the middle. Nowhere to go.
I tell you what, big play counting on Don Bienemy right there all night long. Coach Crutchfield knows that he's going to have to play well inside on that defensive line. He's 5'10", 230-pound junior. Did a nice job right there stacking things up, getting some penetration, and shutting down the counter Trey. Big guy right there, 5'10", 230 junior. Very, very talented athlete on that defensive line for West Jeff.
That'll bring up second down and goal. An opening drive of this game for the Shaw Eagles. Keller working from the shotgun. He's got a lot of time. Finally running out of time. And somehow escapes and fights his way near the line of scrimmage again. He'll lose a yard or two, but that could have been a whole lot worse. I thought he was going to just throw it out of bounds or step out of bounds, but he took the chance, Wade, and almost got away with it.
Well, he needed to throw that away. Everything was covered in the end zone. He needs to take that and throw that ball out the back of the end zone. Right here you can see, sprints to his right. They're moving the pocket. He sets his feet. Nothing there. Get rid of the ball. Let's just throw it out the back of the end zone, line up again, and play the next down.
The next down is third down and goal from the 8. They had got down close to the 6 at one time. Play action. Didn't fool anybody. But still, Keller might make something happen. Throws into the end zone. Has a man. It's caught. It is a touchdown. Beautiful catch. Patrick Allen on the catch, the senior. And what a throw. A West Jeff player is down. An 8-yard touchdown.
Right there, big scramble. You can see Keller getting away from the rush. They bring the blitz off the edge with Nichols from West Jefferson. Just doesn't get him, and he scrambles out of trouble. He's maneuverable. They leave the receiver open in the end zone, and they complete to Allen for the 6 points, and they draw first blood. We got a player down.
Trying to get a look, and the player down is Nicholas. He's one of the defensive backs. Shakur Nicholas, 5'11", a 170 senior DB.
He was a young man that just blitzed off the edge. They brought him a blitz off the edge, and he was the young man that almost had Keller pinned in the backfield. There you go. He's up. That's good to see. They can't afford to have this early in the season having injuries. Looks like ankle, knee, possibly limping it off.
Well, he turned. Remember when Matt Keller came zipping past him, he made a cut to try to bring him down.
Right.
And may have just turned that knee or turned that ankle when he was trying to match Keller's cut.
Right. Keller, shows a lot of athleticism getting away from the rush right there. Shakir right there does a nice job, almost has him, and there's nobody on the edge to contain Keller, and Keller has a chance to run and buy himself a little more time, which buys the receivers more time, and they dump it off in the end zone for the touchdown.
Well, that'll bring in Peyton Dufour to attempt the extra point. And he has been very steady for the Eagles as a kicker this year, converting on 7 of 8 PATs. And you can make that 8 of 9 now as Shaw Eagles take a 7-0 lead on a 9-play, 46-yard drive that took 4:41 off the clock and the lead. Well, West Jefferson will get the football for the first time in this game. Shaw took the opening kickoff and drove it down and scored on a Matt Keller pass. And it was a very nice catch for 8 yards by Patrick Allen, 7-0. And the Eagles will now send it deep. Jamal Houston, a little trickery, tosses it across field to Napoleon, and Shaw was waiting for that one and snuffed it.
All right, that had to be a lateral. You cannot be forward. It's got to be backward. So little trickery trying to set up the wall opposite of where the kick goes. Takes the steps up, and then he's got to turn and throw it backward. That looks almost forward there. That could be possibly, it just depends on where you can see it on the film or the video right there. It has to be backwards. That is the rule.
Yeah, or sideways.
There's our quarterback.
It can be a straight sideways. It doesn't have to be totally backwards. You can be right on the side. And I think it was. I think about a half yard. Coley Ransaw, 6'5". Look at the height. Look at the ability to throw the football. And he does right there to Jordan Jones for a first down on the first play. And you're going to see an explosive West Jefferson offense. Ransaw is going to lead it 18 yards on a first down.
Quick release right here off the fake. Takes the steps. Good. Gets that ball up and zips it right in there. A little slant route. Right there to Jones, and Jones is open in the middle of that 3-deep zone.
Good height, good arm, makes good decisions. Coach is really high on Coley Ransaw as a senior quarterback here, being recruited by UL Lafayette and LC, Louisiana College, because he's got great grades, but he can't get away with the speed, and he's dumped down for a loss as we take a look at some of the key players right now for, first, the West Jeff Buccaneers.
Well, Jamal Houston just ran the kickoff and threw it backwards on the lateral right there. Is a very strong and fast wide receiver for the Bucs. You're going to see David Carter, number 22, a really solid running back, has played well the past couple of weeks, and McKeel Hall, number 70, their best offensive lineman.
Here's Carter right here getting his first carry. He's coming around the right side. Nowhere to go before finally being bumped out of bounds. John Gray knocked him out, bumped him out. Take a look at the Shaw defense, key players in this game.
Tell you what, Scott Bangsfather depends heavily on Malcolm Rollins, strong defensive end, returning starter. Brandon Gautreaux at linebacker, and Sean Michael Dumas, who is a college prospect and will get signed and recruited this season.
Carter again, this time on the left side, and he's very close to another first down for West Jeff, who's answering this short drive quickly with some good ball movement. That time stop was made by Sean Michael Dumas.
You know, Carter had 2 100-yard games last year in a 4-6 season for the West Jeff Buccaneers. He's a solid running back, and once he gets going, he's going to have to depend on a young offensive line to mature up there for him to get going. He's going to be a solid running back this year.
Well, with that, we have reached the 6-minute mark, just under it at 5:58, which leads us to a hydration break. And it gives us the opportunity to remind you that the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase heads to St. Charles Parish next week for one of the biggest rivalries in the metro area as Destrehan meets Hanville. Watch it live Friday night on SportsNola.com and then catch the tape-delayed broadcast next Saturday at noon on WHNO. That's Destrehan and Hanville next week on the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase.
I'll tell you what, that's going to be real fun. Great jambalaya there, Ken. telling you that right now at Hornville.
Yeah, but they're telling me you're getting there at about 11:30. We got a great look at this schedule on the first NBC Prep Showcase, the Holy Cross Jesuit game live in 2 weeks on WHNO and SportsNola.com. Rummel John Curtis, the second live game this year. That's going to be a biggie when we get down there.
That's going to be real big. Right now, John Curtis and Rummel, are battling each other in the national polls.
How about Riverside and St. Charles Catholic when those two guys square off?
That's going to be real big, too. Battle in the river parishes. Good jambalaya there, too.
A lot of good neighborhood rivalries and just good football. This is a neighborhood rivalry right here we've got. And it's first down for West Jefferson. And so it's got a man wide open, pulled down by Jordan Jones, and Jones is inside the 25-yard line. Goodness gracious, all the way down to the 23-yard line. Ransaw is just hitting his targets right on the nose, a 32-yard gain.
Well, he does it out of an option look. He fakes the option. He's down the line right there. There's the first fake. Looks like he's going to run, stops his feet real quick, and just flicks the ball out there for 32 yards. Really quick release. I tell you what, I like this guy. This guy is dangerous.
First down again for West Jeff. They are, again, as we said, they needed to answer the short drive, and they are doing so. Here comes Carter. Carter on the run. Flag down. Flag is thrown. Carter fights his way to the 25, or the 15-yard line, just inside at about the 14. But let's see what this penalty is all about.
Well, they're looking back at the West Jeff offense there, where it is could possibly be a holding on the edge.
Blocking the back. Offense, number 52. 10 yards, replay first down.
Blocking the back right there. It's going to be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. West Jeff lines up in a little tight quads formation right there to try to block down and gain the edge really quick on a toss out to Carter. And he gets out there real fast, but they had a block in the back on one of their receivers that was blocking down on a Shaw defender.
Got an offensive line, too, on this group that was all here last year. So there's some experience there. So I think that's one of the things that has Cyril Crutchfield very excited about this offense, is that he's got an experienced offensive line to protect this quarterback and open some holes for running backs like David Carter. Carter this time on a second handoff and coming around the left side this time. Again, a little bit of chicanery for West Jeff. And that's Blake Gray.
Little reverse.
Check that. That was Tyreek Napoleon.
Little reverse right there with the down block off the edge. Great block by number 16, Jordan Jones, blocking down on the force player coming out of the secondary for Shaw, which allowed him to the running back to get onto the edge and get a little running room.
West Jeff's got a bag of tricks now. They're not afraid to reach into him. Carter looking for room on the left side. Shaw sees him coming, stuffs it quickly. And good play that time by Brandon Gautreaux, who had help.
Well, lead sweep right there. Gautreaux comes up and forces it back down inside and makes a nice tackle. I'll tell you what, I really like the way this David Carter runs here. He finishes runs off with his shoulder pads low. So does Regas. I mean, we've got two quality running backs here tonight that are going to do a great job, and we're going to be calling their names all night.
Flag is thrown at the snap of the football. Officials blow this one dead at the 4.5-minute mark.
False start. Offense, number 1. 5 yards, still third down.
One of the things when Cyril Crutchfield took over this program, he said immediately in trying to build a program, and this is a guy who knows how to build a program. He's got 3 state championships behind him. He took St. Augustine all the way to the semifinals. In building a program, the first thing is make sure that the players do the right things and then put themselves in positions to be successful, not make mistakes. So I know a couple of mistakes like this is probably driving him crazy.
Right, and Ken, that's going to come with just time, and he stays here, he'll develop that program.
Ransaw was looking long, nobody open. He'll fake the run, now throw, and it's over the head of Tim Kent, who was really banged into after that, but a flag was down way back on the other side of the field at the 30-yard line.
I'm wondering if he crossed the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball.
He might have. I think he did. I think he was crossed the line. Let's see.
I'll see. Well, getting back to building the program, Cyril Crutchfield has built programs down in Port Sulphur. He's built, he continued the tradition and did a great job at St. Aug just recently. He'll do that right here at West Jeff High School.
Yeah, had a state championship at Port Sulphur. He had 2 at South Plaquemine.
Which was Port Sulphur, post-Katrina.
Yeah.
Illegal forward pass. He was past the line
down,
of scrimmage.
It'll be 4th down.
And it is in high school. That is a dropping of a down, loss of down. It's one of the 3 loss of down penalties that you would get in a Federation game, high school game.
So West Jefferson was answering the short drive. They drive down inside the 20-yard line, but have penalized themselves back out of it. Now it's 4th down. 4th down. Here comes the rush from behind. Does Ransaw see it? He does. He throws quickly, has to rush the throw, and it's thrown low and incomplete. But that's because of a rush. He could hear the feet. So Shaw will take over on downs, and with that, we will take a break. 4:05 to play in the first quarter. 7-0 Shaw. Archbishop Shaw has the football, their second offensive possession of this football game at a 1-touchdown lead. Matt Keller at quarterback. He's got some time, has a man wide open, has a man beat, and he cannot get the ball into the hands of Patrick Allen. It was so close. Allen was streaking and would have had an easy 6.
Wide open. You can't miss that. I'm telling you, if we could get the replay on this, I think if we could see the route by Allen, it was a double move, probably. Hitch and go, out and up. Let's see what we've got right here. There's the double move right there. You saw it. You saw the hitch with the inside shoulder. It froze the defender, and he blows right past him, and he just overthrows it. That's one they're going to want back.
Let's see if they try to get it now or wait a few downs or a series or 2. 2nd down, 10. Keller this time will hand it to Regas. Regas coming wide, turns the corner, does a good job, cuts inside. Look at that cut. Regas is off to the races. It's a foot race, and he's caught from behind inside the 15-yard line. My goodness, a 53-yard run by Regas before he's finally pulled down by West Jefferson's Arthur Major.
Well, I'll tell you what, right there, they lose contain on the edge. First thing you do as a defensive coach is people have got to understand where they fit in their defensive scheme. The corner right there gets sucked inside. There's no force to force him back into the oncoming pursuit. And there goes Regas down the boundary. Couple of moves, and he goes a long way. You got to have the force on the edge. You got to make sure you're fitting right. The corner's got to be where he has to be in order to turn it in. There's your numbers on Regas. 6 rushes, 84 yards already on the night.
53 coming on that last rush right there, and Keller's going to keep this one himself and try to do it. He's in trouble. Can he turn on the afterburners to the outside? Escapes one, pulls a few with him, and the rugby scrum catches up with him and finally pulls him down.
A lot of red jerseys right there. Did not take the quarterback fake where they were trying to run quarterback counter right up the middle. It was shut down, and that turns Matt Keller into a guy that's trying to look for anything he can possibly do with the ball to gain positive yardage. Great job right there by that West Jeff defense right there. Great pursuit.
Just under 3 minutes to play. First quarter. Shaw driving. Keller mixing up whether he's working under center or from the gun. Loads up the left side this time, and he'll let Regas take it behind that load. Regas pushing inside the 5-yard line and gets down to the 2.
They shift into a quads formation, a really short, unbalanced quad formation. You'll see it right here. And they run outside zone stretch to Regas' left. They got a hat on a hat over there. That's what you want as an offensive line coach, where I can get a hat on a hat. Regas sticks his nose right up in there and gets his shoulder pads vertical and sticks it right up in there down to the 3-yard line.
Denzel McCoy is the slot man to the right side. Regas the only running back. They'll give to Regas, picks and chooses a hole, finds one, and just walks into the end zone for the touchdown. 13-0 Shaw.
Great vision right there. Things were shut down, and then he jump cuts to his left, gets his shoulder pads vertical. You'll hear me say that all night. One of the things good running backs do is they run north and south, and he gets himself into the end zone for the second score. For the second score, not his second score.
Tell you what, he was the workhorse. He did the heavy lifting on that drive with that 53-yard run, added a little bit more, and then finally just put it across. Dufour with the point after.
Well, it starts up front, Ken.
14-0.
And it starts up front. You see a great offensive line charge right there by Archbishop Shaw. You saw the jump cut in the backfield by number 5, Regas. He jumps to his left. Everything opens up, and Shaw is up by 2 scores now.
Shaw and West Jeff fans, Mellow Mushroom will donate 10% of your order to your school's athletics department through Saturday night. Stop by the Metairie or Covington locations. Tell your server and give back to your school with the best pizza in town. And don't forget to stay mellow at the Mellow Mushroom. West Jefferson answered that first Shaw drive with the drive that got them inside the red zone, but they penalized themselves out of it. Shaw takes advantage of it, goes back, punches another one on the board, and now is allowing Coach Scott Bainsfather to enjoy a 2-touchdown lead in the first quarter of this game.
Well, part of building that program, and Cyril Crutchfield will tell you, is you've got to be able to do the little things. And the little things are not block in the back, not hold, not throw past the line of scrimmage, things that are disciplined things that he's teaching every day in practice. And he'll get that stuff straight. It's going to take time to iron out, but in big games like this, you can't play behind the chains, especially if penalties are going to put you there.
5-play, 65-yard drive. Took a minute 48 with Regas going over from 3 yards out. This one coming back. Napoleon hits, spins away from one, but then there's too many white shirts that converge on him and drop him at about the 10-yard line.
There's an old saying in this game, Ken, you can't run east and west on a north and south field.
Yes.
And when you get that ball, you got to get north and south. Today. You can see right here, Napoleon catches the ball. He begins north and south, and then what happens? Starts running east, starts running west. Can't go that way. Got to go north and south. That's where the green grass is. I mean, the turf, that's where you got to go. You got to go north and south.
You know, so many times, though, you think just a little cut to the right, a little cut to the left, and there's a lot of wide open turf, but
there isn't, because people are closing fast.
West Jefferson's last drive started at the 12-yard line. This one will start at the 10-yard line. They start deep in their own territory. But that doesn't bother Ransaw, who delivers on the money, and it cannot be held by Tyreek Napoleon.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's 5 verticals. They go empty in the secondary. They run 5 verticals. They run somebody down each hash mark and 1 person down the middle of the field, 2 on the outside. They throw it right down the center of the field to Napoleon, and I tell you what, it couldn't be a better ball. There's no place to hit you better than right in the hands. You got to catch that football.
David Carter was not in, the running back, the starting running back on that first play. He's in there now, so let's see if they just give it to him, or he comes out of the backfield, or just blocks for quarterback Coley Ransaw. After a fake to him, Ransaw goes to the left side, and a good move on the left side, and a little bit of extra running down there. That'll be Napoleon again, but flags are down, so hold everything.
A lot of different formations out of this West Jeff offense tonight. We're seeing bunch formations, we're seeing quads, tight formations, we're seeing end-over formations, we're seeing empty formations. A lot of different formations trying to get leverage here.
Holding. Offense, number 16. 10 yards from the spot of the foul, from the end of the run. Repeat second down.
Now again, that's one of your wide receivers just trying to throw a block, and that would frustrate the living daylights out of Cyril Crutchfield.
Well, Jordan Jones gets caught holding up there on the quick screen, and once again, it puts him behind the sticks, off of, I guess you would say, off of schedule.
You know, they get down over, but you're a little bit further back. Well, so it's second down and 11 to the 9-yard line.
Right. Anytime you're behind those sticks, you're off schedule.
Well said. Play action. Ransaw's got man coverage, right side, dropped by Houston. He had it on the over-the-shoulder catch. It dropped in the basket, but the basket had a hole in the bottom.
Tell you what, beautiful delivery right there by Ransaw.
Oh, he knows.
He
knows he's had 2.
Understand, been there. Off the fake, look at the delivery. Great release. I mean, let me tell you.
Boom.
Where do you want to have it?
That's 2 drops on this series right here. That brings up now 3rd down and 11. And
that's concentration.
If Crutch had any hair left, I'd say that would make you lose your hair, but he's already lost it. So,
well, I lost mine. I mean, it's concentration. The young man's going to come to the sideline. You pat him on the back. You might rip him a little bit and tell him to catch the ball.
Here's third down. They'll try a screen to the running back, Carter. Carter needs a lot of yards, and he's coming around. He's got it. He's got the first down. Carter makes it happen. When West Jefferson needed a break, they got one from their starting running back, David Carter, the senior. Gives them the first down on a 24-yard gain. They needed 11. They got 24 from David Carter.
Well, they dial up a nice swing screen to the halfback. Got the blockers out front to do a nice job. Here comes the screen. And he dumps it. Very nice dump right there. You've got blockers out front, and he just sits right behind his blockers, and he gets up the field and picks up the first down.
Getting near to the final 1:10 or so of the quarter. They'll keep it on the ground, the first quarter that is, and Carter just over the left tackle for a few. Now 1 minute to play, and let's see what West Jeff does here. Then they'll have the quarter timeout to talk about this on the sideline with Coach. But you can see the size on Coley Ransaw at 6'5", just tall, lanky quarterback.
He's a beautiful specimen, I'll tell you what, and he's only going to get better.
4.0 plus grade point average. Very, very intelligent young man. Give to Carter. Carter almost broke the last tackle to get the first down, but he had to run vertically, or horizontally rather, and that's what cost him as Shaw was able to stop him, bringing up very short yardage.
Sticks it up inside the inside zone. What you see right here, missed tackles. 1, 2, here 3 right there, and then finally he's brought down on the fourth tackle. 3 missed tackles right there by the guys in green and white. That's something that they know they can't do.
Third down. About 2.5. Let's call it a short 3. They're going to put it in the hands of Carter and ask him to get it, and they will not get it as Trent King comes charging in from his DB position and makes the stop for a loss. So that's it. The first quarter has come to an end on a big defensive play, and it's none other than Trent King making the stop for Shaw to protect a 14-0 lead. Today's game is presented by First NBC Bank, providing real customer service and relationship banking. Now with 35 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana and the Florida Panhandle. First NBC Bank, member FDIC. And a first down run by Carter for West Jeff. So how important is that? And I'm going to tell you, engineering a good drive is quarterback Coley Ransaw.
Well, it's they're going to have to. They're trying to build, some movement here that is going to give them some confidence, and drop passes, these sort of things. Picking up a first down gives them that confidence.
And that's what I'm talking about when I say engineering a good drive by Coley Ransaw. He could have easily been discouraged a little bit with the drop passes that he put on the money. Here's Napoleon. Napoleon with a good move to the inside. Napoleon fighting for the first down, and he stretches out, and it's going to be very, very close, but he'll miss it by 1 yard.
They come back to the wide receiver screen out of the wide trips formation, and basically they got him outnumbered. You're going to see right here the wide trips off the fake. They're going to get the ball out there to Napoleon. He gets behind his blockers, and he comes up close to that first down.
So here comes West Jeff now with second down and short yardage. If you're going to try something fancy, this might be the place to do it. Look at Napoleon sneaking out to the right side. He's only 5'5". That's how sneaky he is. But Carter will take the handoff as Napoleon to come the other way. He's got the first down with the stiff arm is run out of bounds over at the Shaw bench. First down for West Jeff on, again, a hard run by David Carter. Look at the legs and the head of steam Carter builds up when he's running the football.
Well, he's a solid running back, but it starts first with this end-over quads formation right here where they fake Napoleon coming around and they give it to Carter coming out off the edge, and there's no force. I keep saying that. When you don't have force, people are going to get on your edge and yards are going to be made.
Tyreek Napoleon, watch him on your screen. They're going to go to him. They love him, one of the leading receivers here. And again, only 5'5". He's got the ball now. He's coming around the side. He can't turn on the afterburners because he's tied up by Bradley Davis.
Well,
stopped.
There's your force player. Comes out of the secondary, comes up and builds the force and turns Napoleon in and makes the tackle. You got a flag on the play. You can see the force coming right there. Great tackle.
Contain.
Right, they turns him in, and here comes all the white jerseys inside out. That's called forcing the ball back inside, setting the edge. And that's what Bradley Davis did right there.
Face mask. Offense, number 3. 5 yards. Repeat first down.
At your ball carrier, Tyreek Napoleon must have grabbed the face mask when he stiff-armed. He tried to stiff-arm, remember.
Right, well, it's a 5-yard penalty. You have 2 types of face masks in high school. You have a 5-yard non-personal foul, and then you got a 15-yard personal foul. Young man's trying to make extra yards, puts his hands out and scrapes it across the face of the defender, and that's a
usually on a stiff arm. It's either a scrape of the face mask or you get your fingers caught up in the face mask and you just can't release it.
Correct.
So they move it back 6 yards, and now a fake toss, and look, he's got a wide open Napoleon who has to reach back to get the football, and he does before finally being touched down by Juwan Gray. First down for West Jeff, who's answering the Shaw drive once again.
Statue of Liberty pass.
Yes.
Exactly. You saw one fake. You saw the behind the back fake handoff on the Statue of Liberty. Stands in there, hides the ball for a second. Napoleon slips out, wide open, and they hit him down the boundary. He's a little tired. He needs a drink of water. Them little legs are churning now. I'll tell you what, he's a dynamite little athlete, and he does a great job, get himself open. 5'5", 165-pound junior.
Just gave him 21 yards and another drop pass on this drive. And again, the kind of things that'll just drive them crazy.
Well, Cyril will address that at halftime. I know Cyril. He will address that at halftime. He'll address that all week in practice.
We'll find out who that intended receiver was in just a moment. He is not on their roster. This is the 12th play of this drive. They had this ball with quite some time on the clock in the first quarter, and we're already down to under the 10-minute mark in the second quarter. At the snap of the football, flags are down.
Well, they've gone back to their empty formation here. They're giving Carter a little rest. They're giving Napoleon a little rest right there. Those guys have been their workhorse for the past part of the 2 or 3 series they've had the ball. Here's your call.
Defense number 70. 5. Still second down.
All right, a little legal procedure, loss of 5, and puts them back behind the sticks again where they were on track and they were on schedule. They're now off schedule again. And, those are things that I know Cyril Crutchfield will make sure he gets on his guys about, and he'll clean them up.
Second penalty on the offensive line. And again, a lot of returnees on this offensive line. They've been procedure and holding. There are 6 penalties so far for the Buccaneers in this football game. That brings up now second down and long, second down and 15. Ransaw's in trouble this time under a big rush, and they got him. They've got him, and they sack him back there. Luke Cahill led the charge for Shaw.
You got Luke Cahill. You got Luke Cahill there. You got Joe LaCava there. They actually
Donald Barber.
Right. They brought a linebacker on the blitz. You'll see it right here. Nobody picks up the blitz. There comes LaCava right off the edge. There goes Cahill right there. Ducks his head. He's got to keep that head up on the tackle, and they get to him. No time to throw the ball.
So now it's third down and long. Third down and 20. Remember, after the first Shaw touchdown, West Jeff was driving. They penalized themselves right out of a scoring opportunity. They have done so again this time unless they can do something here on third down. Big rush on Ransaw. He's in trouble. He's caught back at midfield and thrown for a loss again. Once again, it's Luke Cahill who led the charge.
Got no answer for the blitz. There's no answer in the protections for the blitz. They're bringing one more than they're outnumbered. They're getting to him. No place for him to go. They're trying to sprint the pocket to the right. And you can see Cahill right here coming off the edge, right there, wrapping him up, holding him up, and they're coming in and cleaning him up for the sack.
Now that'll bring up fourth and almost the length of half this football field.
I'm gonna tell
for
you,
a first down. Ball is at the West Jeff 49, and they have to go all the way to the Shaw 17-yard line for a first down.
There's only one play for a 4th and 34.
Punt.
You either punt it. I mean, that's
punt
it.
As hard as you can punt, and this is Rushni Noel. His nickname, Port-au-Prince. He is from Haiti. Low snap. He was punting them good in pregame practice. Not a bad punt, and he gets a great West Jeff roll on this one, and it will bounce all the way down to the 16-yard line. So how's that to get your team out of a hole? A 35-yard punt, but Shaw still leads by 2 touchdowns here at Hoss Memphis. To go at their own 16-yard line on their third offensive possession of the football game. They'll just put it right in the hands of Regis, their running back. He's had some success so far in this half of the football game and fights his way with a pile of players on him, dragging them all up near the 30-yard line and gets about 8 yards all by himself.
Regis on the lead sweep right here. You know, to date, he's got 38 attempts, 272 yards, and 4 touchdowns. We talked about that in the pregame. But the other thing he does, and we haven't seen it yet, is he's got 5 receptions on the season so far for 100-yard with 2 TD catches. So I'm waiting to see him out of the backfield catching the ball also.
Will we see that with a 14-0 lead? That's the deal. Or do you just keep it on the ground and continue to burn clock? He's averaging probably about 6-7 yards roll. Here's Keller on the keeper, and he's got the first down to move the chains and run some more clock. We are in the first half. Shaw and West Jeff have both moved the football. The difference is when they got in the red zone, Shaw scored. West Jeff has penalized themselves out of scoring opportunities.
Coming into your living room right there, you saw Austin Biot, number 61, the right guard, and John Cotton, number 60, the right tackle, running counter tray for the quarterback. Kick out and a seal with the tackle coming up. Big hole right there for the quarterback Matt Keller to run the quarterback counter tray.
He's got a new set of downs to deal with and a little bit more breathing room up at the 31-yard line of the Eagles. Toss it to who? Regis. The nice cut to the inside, and Regis will push up to the 35-yard line for a gain of 4. Gang tackle there.
Tell you what, a lot of red jerseys hustling out there to make that tackle on that gang tackle. Lenore Cortez, defensive end, number 11. You can see the toss sweep. Here comes Lenore Cortez. And there he is right there, making that nice tackle, pursuing from this backside defensive end position.
Yeah, Cortez with very nice pursuit on that one for the West Jeff defense. Second down. Working from the gun. Play action. He's got some time, and now finally it breaks down, and he's brought down way back there at the 16-yard line. Goodness gracious. That time Keller just had nowhere to go. He looked up, and there was a wall of red around him. It was led right there by Dijon Thompson.
It's off a bootleg action. Almost lost contain right there. Had the quarterback stayed around the edge, number 8, Dijon Thompson, coming out of the secondary, setting that edge on the bootleg right there, ducked under the guard. Had Keller stayed outside the guard's edge, he would have gotten the edge on that, would have had a long way to run on his bootleg.
18-yard sack takes us into the water break, and that'll bring a timeout on the field with Shaw still holding on to the 2-touchdown lead. Well, it's time now for Traditions, presented by Joseph A. Bank, the new tradition since 1905, with locations downtown, in Metairie, and in Mandeville. Besides their geographic proximity, the common bond between Shaw and West Jefferson football is Coach Hank Tierney. Tierney guided the Eagles program for 19 years, leading them to the 1987 Class 4A state title and 3 other trips to the state finals. He took over at West Jeff in 2002 and turned around a program from 0-10 to 10-0 in just 2 seasons. In a quarter century of coaching on the West Bank, all but one of Tierney's teams reached the state playoffs. Tierney, well, he's still alive, active, and today is the head coach for the Ponchatoula Green Wave.
Tell you what, Hank Tierney is one of those legends in our state. A tremendous coach.
Let's go downstairs to Stephanie Altman.
Thank you, Ken. Now, many of you might not realize this, but this is West Jefferson's third head coach in the past 3 years. The complete opposite of Archbishop Shaw, who's only had 2 different head coaches in the past 33 years. Scott Bain's father is in his 14th season right now with the Eagles. He replaced Hank Tierney after the 2001 season. Ken and Wade, back to you.
Thank you, Stephanie. And again, after that long 18-yard sack, Shaw just trying to get some of the yardage back, and Trey Regis, the running back, handles the chore.
Well, I mean, like I said, on most cards, on 4th down and 3rd down and 30-some-odd yards, you don't have a play for that. I mean, I've looked at that a lot of times, and I just can't find that play. So what do? You try to get some of it back, get yourself in a decent situation so you can punt the ball, get it out of there. Good look at Scott right there, a little irritated, I'm sure, at why Matt Keller didn't stay on the outside on that bootleg, because they had the edge.
Dufour is your punter, and the speedy Napoleon is the deep man back. And it'll get a little bit of Shaw bounce as it crosses midfield and rolls before being blown dead at the 41-yard line. That'll be a punt of 34 yards by Mr. Dufour. Well, you talk about, again, both of these schools with coaches, and again, West Jeff, they had a state championship here in 1970. They brought in a coach who's got 3 of them and a trip with St. Aug to the semifinals to rebuild this program. But you look at the stability at Archbishop Shaw, and I think that says a lot about a program's sustaining success.
Well, exactly. And, Scott Bain's father graduated from Shaw when he got the call, the opportunity to come back 14 years ago. He answered that call at the time. He was the head coach at Holy Cross, and he came in, and it was tough going. It was tough sledding right there for a couple of years, but he rebuilt the program and had some years in 4A, and then he's got
offense number 67. Pulled his hands up, 5 yards, still first down.
And then, as I was saying, after a few years in Quad A, came back into the Catholic League, got back into playing 5A football. They elect to play up because of their numbers at where they are right now. And, does a great job coaching these guys.
Well, you saw Cyril Crutchfield, a little, again, frustrated with the penalty and the lack of confusion, because one of the things he wants to do in building this program is don't make mistakes. Do the right things, put yourselves in positions to be successful. Look, the first 2 West Jeff drives, they were not in position to be successful. They penalized themselves out of it. They ended up starting their own drives back at the 10 and 12-yard line. This 42-yard line, again, penalized themselves back, but it was supposed to start at the 42. This is the best starting position on a drive of this game for West Jeff. Napoleon breaking 1 tackle, maybe breaking 2, and he's finally pulled down on the shoestring by Trent King.
Well, jailbreak screen. You hear them talk about this on Saturdays. You're seeing a lot of offenses on Sundays doing the same thing. You'll see they fake the screen one way, bring Napoleon back underneath, shoot the offensive line out in front of him, try to get him some running area, but a great job by the white jerseys getting there real quick and shutting that down.
And the frustrating part for West Jeff is, again, the penalty that happens early moves them way behind the chains. They have handled, and they can handle with their passing game, these kind of situations. Let's see if they do here on 2nd down. They'll go right side with man coverage, but goes behind. Tim Kent can't get it, so incomplete.
Well, it's all about staying on schedule. When you look at those sticks and you see that ball marker behind that first stick, offensive coaches can't stand that, because now it changes every way you look at your next downs. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're looking at 2nd and long, you're not on schedule. You're having to change the way you call things, and it makes them very upset.
Especially when you get to 3rd down and 15. So trips to the left, down to the bottom of your screen, 3 receivers. Here comes the rush, and he's got to dump it off to the outlet man. That's Carter, and Carter, the running back, gets back near the original line of scrimmage and another yard to boot, but way short of the first down, and West Jeff may have to punt this football away. I say may, because these are 2 coaches that are not afraid to reach into the trick bag and try something.
Renshaw stands in there against the rush, takes on the rush, dumps the ball on the screen right there to Carter, and he gets back to the original, maybe a little past the original line of scrimmage.
It had been Malcolm Rollins on the rush. I'm not sure, but as that number flashed by. But it does bring up 4th down and 8. And a little razzle-dazzle. Look at this different shift in formation. And Shaw calls timeout. They just called timeout. So I'm not sure what Crutchfield was trying to do right there, Wade. You can explain that, but we'll take the break, and you can come back and explain that in just a moment. With 3:03 to play in the first half, it's Archbishop Shaw by 2 touchdowns. This on an extra point, but we're seeing it in midfield on 4th and 8. Wade, what are they doing? Is a timeout called again? We heard a whistle right before the snap of the football.
All right, swing and gate. They came out with it on the first original 4th down play. Shaw did not move. Scott Bainfather counters, calls timeout, talks to his kids on the sideline about what to do. So out of the timeout, West Jeff comes back with the swinging gate to the opposite side. Shaw starts to move. They still don't get lined up, and they have to end up wasting another timeout. So what have we gotten out of this from this standpoint? What West Jefferson has gotten, it's gotten Shaw to waste 2 of their timeouts in trying to line up against a swinging gate. Here's the deal. Here's the
one timeout left now.
One timeout left. Here's the
8.
deal. Here's the bottom line. All right, and Scott will tell you this. You got to know that going in. You got to know that if they're over there, I got to move over there. So you tell your kids this is what happens, and each week you better practice some sort of swinging gate, or you better practice some sort of what they call a polecat, which I'll explain at another time.
Did you practice against a swinging gate when you were coaching?
Every week.
But here's the difference. You're used to only seeing it on an extra point attempt. You're not used to seeing it at midfield on 4th and 8.
But
there's the chicanery.
Here's the deal. You got to move.
Yeah, that's it right there. Here he comes again. He's got
another timeout
if he wants to use it.
You got to move.
Everybody's covered. Everybody's covered if he wants to let him snap the football. Here comes a rush, and we've got a whistle, stop play, flag down. Now this might be a procedure on line of scrimmage. Correct people at the line of scrimmage, or was it just procedure and somebody moved?
Well, either somebody was in the neutral zone or somebody moved and was not set at the snap, so they stopped it real quick. I'm thinking illegal procedure. Somebody's in the neutral zone.
Let's listen.
Nope.
I'm going to pick up the flag.
They're going to pick up the flag.
That one makes Cyril a little mad.
That's going to make Cyril,
upset.
So Cyril Crutchfield is going to go, wait a minute, I had a play that, I'm about to run a play, and you throw a flag and stop the play. He's frustrated, and probably with the right to be.
Well, let's talk about a couple things. First, the swing and gate. That time, Shaw moves over, and they match numbers. That's what you want to do. You've got to match numbers when you move, okay? So the next thing you want to do is the offense is being so far away from the line of scrimmage, you want to make sure that you're on the line of scrimmage and you have 7 people there according to football rules. And then the third thing you need to do then is you need to be able to try to execute against the numbers on how they're lined up as the offense is looking at it.
Through all of this, Shaw still has 1 timeout remaining.
There you go.
West Jeff, by the way, has all 3, and we have 3:01 to play. Now let's see. Remember, it's 4th down. It's 4th down and 8. Here's Crutchfield. Look at that. Now, you think he's not fired up? How fired up was Crutchfield? All right, everybody in position, everybody down. Ransaw, jump. Now it's 4th and 8, so even if that's 5 yards, it's still going to be 4th and 3. That's not an automatic.
Two words, Ken. Ball key. Ball key. You look at the ball. In this type of situation, as a defensive lineman, or in that case, as a defensive back, fixing to rush off the edge, you're looking at the ball. Ball key. So what do? They give him 5 yards, pick it up, still brings up 4th down and 4. Let's see if we're going to get another swinging gate.
Tell you what, I'm going to go back to that Cyril Crutchfield spike of his clipboard. I don't think he ever spiked a basketball. I don't think he ever got one into the hoop that good. That was a 9.8 on the 10-point scale by the Russian judge. Here we go, 4th down and 3 now. No swinging gate. Ransaw trying to draw Shaw offside. They cannot do it, and West Jefferson calls timeout. So, wow. Will a play and the ball ever be snapped here with 3:01 to play before halftime? But this is an important series for West Jeff. They've got to answer, and they did twice but penalized themselves out of it.
Well, they've got to answer it, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make something happen. That's the reason why you're trying to see the swinging gate, and now they're going for it on 4th down.
All right, Mondays on WHNO Sports, it's Sports NOLA TV. Hall of Famer Ricky Jackson, Brian Ellie Walsh, and host Ken Trahan break down the Saints college and prep action. That's Sports NOLA TV each Monday at 6 right here on WHNO TV 20, and those guys have a lot of fun. Believe me, there's no holes barred verbally there when they're talking Saints, LSU, Tulane, and they always treat prep with all the respect it deserves. So what is Cyril Crutchfield going to call right here? He's gained 5 yards on 3 swinging gates where he'd never had to snap the football, but he's still 3 yards away, has 3:01 to play in the first half, has to get on the scoreboard, has to answer those Shaw drives.
Well, here's the deal. He's not out of this game. Shaw's got 1 timeout left, and, this is a big gamble right here.
He's got a 6'5", he's got a 6'5" quarterback with a bazooka arm that can throw it, but instead they keep it on the ground. Fumble! And Shaw recovers the football.
As I was trying to say, as it turned out, I said, this is a big gamble. They don't produce 3 yards right here. Shaw's going to get the ball back with under 3 minutes with 1 timeout at pretty darn good field position.
That's the key. Good field position on the West side of the 50.
You saw the fumble right there. It was just a bad handoff from the standpoint of it was not seeded correctly.
Tyrone Miles got it for Shaw.
Quarterback is taught to seed the ball properly and make sure that the pocket is there by the running back. Seed the ball in the midsection properly. It just wasn't seeded real well.
Well, now you got it at the West Jeff 44-yard line. If you're Archbishop Shaw, you have 2:56 to play before halftime, and a running back who's been just about having his way in Trey Regis.
Well, they've got 1 timeout, so it's going to be interesting to see what ends up taking place here and how they're going to mix it up.
Keller, no shotgun this time. He'll just give to Regis, who will put his head down with a head of steam and just run it past the 40 down to the 39-yard line.
Regis running the off tackle, or should we say inside zone scheme, trying to get a hat on a hat, white helmets on, silver helmets, trying to make sure that everybody forces up and he's picking his way through the hole.
Boy, has he been a workhorse tonight. Watch him here.
You saw that pocket right there? That's what I'm talking about, seeding the ball. You saw the nice big pocket he had right there and how Keller seeded the ball in his midsection. That's what I was talking about.
2nd down, a little bit more than 5. Look at the hole for Regis right there with the pocket. He'll cut to the outside. This is a foot race to the end zone. He's turning on the afterburners, and he gets to the end zone for the touchdown. Wow. Regis, a 39-yard touchdown run off the fumble recovery by West Jeff, and the Eagles of Shaw have taken a 3-touchdown lead.
Well, when you see the replay, you're going to see it's outside zone stretch. We talked about that earlier in the first quarter. He does a great job running it downhill, then sticking his left foot, outside foot in the ground, and digging it up the ground, up the field vertically, and finding room to run, and then turning it into a touchdown.
Man, they created that pocket, and just what a A lot of room for Regis to run the football. 7 plays, 44 yards, and 43 seconds is how quickly they made it happen. Dufour with the extra point, and it's 21-0. Archbishop Shaw over West Jeff, who has played a good football game. Another look.
There's your outside stretch. Look at that cut right there. Look at the second cut right there. It's called a dig. You're up in the hole, everything's blocked, and he digs to his right, makes a dig to his right, and runs to open ground, and he goes 32 yards for another touchdown, and they're up 21-0. I tell you what, he runs downhill, and you know what I like about him? He finishes runs. Yeah. When he's tackled, he finishes runs. He's falling forward, falling down, trying to get that extra yard, legs turning right there. He wasn't even touched.
He may want to buy a DVD of this game. As a matter of fact, if you're interested in purchasing a DVD copy of today's game, send an email to prep@sportsnola.com or call our offices at 504-681-0120 during normal business hours. You'll receive a reply with more information on purchasing DVDs. And I'd say hurry up and get them because Trey Regis is going to buy a lot of DVDs of this football game.
Well, he was averaging 10 yards a carry going into that game right there. Then he pops that outside stretch, and I tell you what, it was the way it was drawn up.
Now, I'm going to go back and tell you that West Jeff has played a good football game. They have moved the football. The only thing they have done wrong is penalize themselves out of scoring 2 touchdowns. They penalized it. They were in the red zone twice, penalized themselves out of it, and then again, after all the fancy swing and gate at midfield, they fumbled the football away. So penalties and fumbles have kept the Buccaneers off the board. Little head of steam by Napoleon, but can't get past the 25-yard line. And West Jeff will have about 2 minutes, little over 2 minutes after the 18-yard return by Napoleon to try to move that football down the fence. But they can on the arm of the 6'5 senior quarterback, Coley Ransaw.
Well, you know, they've made some mistakes. They're still in this thing. They've got the weapons to fight their way back into the ball game. They're just going to have to cut down on being behind the chains. I'm sure at halftime we will see exactly how many penalties they've had for how much yardage, and that's going to be their story right now. Drop passes and penalties on offense.
And it's starting at their 24-yard line. Their drives have started at the 12, 10, 42, and 24. And here's a toss and a catch, Houston. Houston breaks a tackle, gets to the inside, keeps his balance, and now he's in a foot. Oh, he's tripped up on a touchdown-saving tackle by Trent King. My goodness, because Houston was headed to the end zone.
Well, that's what missed tackles do for you. Here's the hitch route. Bang, ball's on the money. There's the hitch. He gets north and south fast. Missed tackle right there by 2 Shaw defensive backs, and he's off to the races. And I tell you what, that's a really great job tripping him up there and saving that touchdown.
Never give up if you're on defense from chasing that ball carrier. You might be the player who trips him up and saves that TD. But new life now for West Jeff. Watch the clock, though. 1:37 to play in the first half. They're down by 3 touchdowns, have to get on the big rush, quick throw, tipped up in the air, off the fingertips of Napoleon, and almost picked off by Trent King.
Third drop of the night, right in your hands.
Yeah, another drop, you're right.
You'll see Napoleon on the hitch route right here. Ransaw gets rid of the ball quick, bang, right off his hands. Lucky it wasn't picked. That thing's picked. It's going the other way for 6.
Take a look at the Ransaw numbers. Remember now, 8 of 14, 150 yards, but he's had 3 dropped. I mean, 3 catchable passes, 1 so pretty, it's the old drop it in the basket over the shoulder of the receiver. And you know they'd like to have him all back. He's in trouble. Ransaw on the scramble, will throw on the run, has a man wide open, but split the 2 receivers that were open and couldn't get the ball to either one. He had Houston open. He had also Jordan Jones open short. And he overthrew Jones trying to get it to Houston and underthrew Houston in the process.
Well, Malcolm Rollins right there from Shaw applies the pressure. 6'1", 240-pound junior. And I tell you what, it was a nice job by Ransaw sidestepping to his right, buying himself some time, keeping his eyes downfield and looking for the receiver. Almost had a receiver wide open.
3rd down, 10 with 1:20 to play in the first half. So, yes, they've got to get the 6, but they've got to move the chains too. So at least get some of the 10 if you can't get all of it right here. Ransaw looks over to Crutchfield, who still has 2 timeouts remaining if he wants to use them in this final 1:20. Not going to use them here. Play clock down to 3. Here comes the rush. Quick throw. Napoleon looking for room, and he is gang tackled. Shaw didn't bite on that one, and they threw him for a loss of 3 yards. In on the smother was Donald Barba, and he had some help by Trent King right there, number 7, and others.
Well, they're trying to get Napoleon in space right here by running the jailbreak screen. They tried it a few series before, but a great job by King right there, coming up and making a good solid tackle.
Now it's 4th down. You have 51 seconds. Clock is moving. You'd like to get points on the board, but even if you don't get it all, you've got to give yourself a few extra plays. Remember, West Jeff has 2 timeouts remaining, but Coach Crutchfield is not using them right here. He's letting the clock run.
Well, he's going to run the clock all the way down so he doesn't give the ball back to Shaw again. He'll probably run it all the way down, call a timeout, and punt the ball. There's our timeout. And let's see if he brings out the swinging gate formation.
I'm thinking he's got something up his sleeve. With 27 seconds left, you're down by 21. I don't think he wants to punt the ball in this situation. He doesn't want to give Shaw any opportunity to create a turnover. But I think he definitely wants to move the chains or at least take one play down long into the end zone and see if one of his guys can come up with a Hail Mary catch, maybe.
Well, it's a choice on field
something
position.
Out of the trick bag?
It's your choice on field position right here. If he takes his shot and it doesn't work, Shaw's going to get their shot from the 40 with 1 timeout. Okay? If they punt the ball, they punt it down inside the 10 possibly, then Shaw's going to probably kneel it out knowing that they're not going to be able to go 80 or 90 yards in 27 seconds. So, me, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm punting that ball out of bounds.
Well, I was thinking you line up the punt, you fake punt, but I think at this point of the game, Shaw would be expecting just that. I don't know.
Looks like they're going to take their shot here.
Well, here's
Looks
a
like
big 4th down, and West Jeff is 1 of 3 on 4th down conversions in this game. So let's see what they do. Will they take the Hail Mary shot, which would eat up a lot of time, but still give Shaw, again, good field position, 60 yards away from the goal line if this is an incomplete pass. Shaw doesn't want to intercept this ball. They want to knock it down. Here comes a big rush. Ransaw in trouble. He escapes it on the run, directing traffic, moving down the sideline and pushed out of bounds runs out of bounds before he can get to the 1st down marker. But he ate up a lot of clock on that when he ate up 9 seconds, knocking the game clock down to 18 seconds.
Well, here's what's happening. They're going empty, right? So that means they're blocking with 5, all right, and they're sending out 5, correct? So what does Shaw do? They counter, and they bring 7. Got it? There's nobody blocking 2 people. So what ends up taking place here is you're going to have an answer for the 2 extra people. You either got to answer it with your protection or you got to answer it with your route called, we have heard it before, you probably heard it on Sundays and Saturdays, what is called a hot route.
Well, Shaw doesn't want to try to get hot in the final 18 seconds and create a turnover that might give West Jeff a chance to put points on the board. They might have watched the Peyton Manning Chiefs and Denver Bronco game last night. They saw what happened in 9 seconds. They didn't want anything to happen here. The clock runs down. We are at halftime. And we will be back with our halftime show in just a moment at Memphis Stadium. At halftime, Shaw 21, West Jeff nothing. Welcome back to Haas Memphis Stadium, where Shaw has a 3-touchdown lead over West Jefferson at halftime in a game that, I hate to use this term, but is a lot closer, Wade, than what the score indicates. West Jefferson just wasted some scoring opportunities.
Oh, West Jeff's got the availability to get back in this ball game, but there's a few things he's got to clean up in the locker room right now. First of all, they've got to do something about Regas. One of my keys to the game was they've got to slow down Regas. They've got to stop the running game somehow, and they haven't. All right, 13 carries for 151 yards for Regas so far. They haven't touched him, all right? Second thing West Jeff has got to do is they got to stop playing behind the sticks. 7 penalties, 48 yards, all on offense in key situations that have taken them out of good field position, stalled drives, and, that's hurt them.
Let's take a look at the halftime stats.
Plus they got to catch the ball, Ken.
Absolutely.
They got to catch the ball.
Well, when you look at the rushing yards and you see Shaw's 177 yards rushing, remember, Regas has 158 of that, so he's got about 85% of the rushing yards, and he got 53 on one long run.
Well, he's rolling right now, Ken. Nobody's touching him. Great job by the Shaw offensive line, and he is on a roll right now.
And look at the passing yards, 8 yards. That's one pass to Allen for the touchdown on the first drive of the game. Shaw has not had to throw the ball.
Right. Well, I mean, you can see that. They don't need to throw the football. So, I mean, you can look at West Jeff right here as far as their passing yards, 148 to 180 yards total, one turnover, critical turnover on a fourth down, going for the ball, which set up a score for the Shaw Eagles. Things that they've got to get cleaned up in the locker room. So statistics tell it all right there. I'm not a big statistic guy from the standpoint. You got to believe in them, but you can see right there the difference in the ball game.
4 drives in the first half of West Jefferson. They penalized themselves out of 2 of them. One of those was a loss on downs. They fumbled one away. The other one was a loss on downs after some trick plays. That was it. And guess what? It's 21-0. And Shaw got there on the running of a young man who might become the leading rusher in Shaw history by the end of this year, Trey Regas. You'll see his second touchdown right here to help Shaw to a 21-0 lead. Back with the second half right after this. Welcome back to Haas Memphis as we get set to start the third quarter of play. Archbishop Shaw leads West Jefferson 21-0. Let's go downstairs to Stephanie Altman.
Thank you, Ken. You know, I talked to Coach Bain's father at halftime. He said he's obviously happy going into the second half, but he said that West Jefferson has an explosive offense, so he's not counting them out just yet. Ken and Wade, back to you.
Thank you, Stephanie, and that is very true. Again,
there's no
as we
doubt.
said, this is a game that is so much more close than the score indicates because West Jeff has been in scoring position twice and penalized themselves out of it, was getting there a third time and then backed themselves up with a sack and a penalty and ended up fumbling the football away. If they would have scored on two of those, you might have a one-touchdown lead right now for Shaw. So cannot relax and rest easy.
Well, I'm sure Coach Crutchfield at halftime addressed a lot of the things that we talked about. The penalties, the drop passes, and stiffening up on defense and tackling Trey Regas. So I'm sure he got those things addressed, and I would venture to say coming out the second half, and I believe West Jeff is getting the football, we'll see immediately offensively how that effect of those talks with the coaching staff
we've seen some across the field passes on kickoff returns for West Jefferson. We've seen the extra point swinging gate being used on fourth down 3 times with timeouts being called at midfield on a fourth down trick play. We have seen a little bit of misdirection. We've seen, again, the old Statue of Liberty play. So both of these coaches are known for some trick plays, and Cyril Crutchfield was the first to go to the trick bag tonight. I'm sure we're going to see some more in the second half.
Well, what he's trying to do is he's trying to put his team in a position to win, so he's trying to pull a couple of tricks out of the bag. But I guarantee at halftime, Scott Bain's father went over the swing and gate on the board.
Yes. He won't have to waste 2 timeouts on it here in the second half, but they were very well used timeouts.
Well, that's what you had to do.
Exactly.
If you can't line up, you got to waste those timeouts, get your guys in the right place so you don't give up something cheap. Don't give up something cheap. So, in essence, you know, the 2 swinging gates help West Jeff let Shaw lose 2 timeouts, you know, which was to their benefit.
Carter and Napoleon are deep. DeGrew, the middleman, along with Tim Kent, over on the, about the 25, 28-yard line.
You know, one of the things West Jeff did during that particular half was they spent 12 minutes and 44 seconds in time of possession. But here's the kicker. They had a 15-play drive, used 6 minutes and 10 seconds, and guess what? They come up with no points.
Yeah. Penalties hurt them on 2 of the drives, 2 of their 4 drives, and they fumbled one away. And the other one, after getting a sack, ended up trying a trick play on 4th down and lost it on downs. Napoleon at the 5. Napoleon looking for room up the middle, and Shaw closes that door quickly at the 16-yard line. No more. So that'll be...
Tell you what, Shaw has done a great job all night on their special teams coverage. I mean, look, special teams very close to my heart. When I see special team coverage like this, keeping them inside the 20 for 3 times tonight, you know that they're doing a great job.
Held into an 11-yard return. That's not bad. So West Jeff comes out. They get the ball first. If they're going to make a statement, now is the time for Coley Ransaw and company to take their head coach to the end zone. This is his home debut for West Jeff. Realize that. Ransaw first half, 9 of 16, 148 yards. And 3 drops. Let's not forget that. 3 drops that might have added another 100 yards.
Illegal substitution, 12 men on the field, 5 yards, still first down.
Maybe not 100. It might have been 75, but I guarantee you, if those 3 drops could have come back or incompletions, he'd have another 60 to 75 yards in completions.
Well,
frustrating right now for Crutchfield.
Well, another penalty to start off the second half. Don't even snap the ball yet into the second half.
They 8 penalties all on offense.
Right, they have a illegal substitution, and they're starting back behind the chains again.
Becomes first down 15. Carter trying to make up the distance, and Shaw clogs up the middle, won't let him do that. He gets hit hard, brought down, and nowhere to go.
That's Daquan Charles coming up from his safety position, fitting right up in there the hole, making a great tackle. You'll see right here, here comes the ISO play, bang, right there. 95 hits him, 21 hits him. 95 is Malcolm Rollins. We've called his name already a couple times tonight. And then you also saw, like I said, Daquan Charles coming from his safety position.
Houston and Napoleon will each have man coverage near the sidelines at the top and bottom of your screen. There's Charles. Good look at him. 4 on the play clock. They'll keep it on the ground with Carter. Breaks one tackle, but then is finally gang tackled. Held up long enough for enough white shirts to get in there, and Trent King comes in to finish him off.
They're running a wraparound ISO right there, giving the ball out of the gun to the halfback halfback Carter, and you can see the backside guard wrapping up into the hole right there, leading up onto a linebacker. Nowhere to run, though, and you can see a lot of white jerseys led by Trent King coming from his secondary position, coming up and fitting the hole.
Well, on 7 third-down attempts, only twice has West Jeff converted for a first down. Play action. Ransaw, he's got some real estate in front of him, breaks a tackle. He's got the first down. He's got more. The lanky quarterback is across the 40 and finally written down by, again, DeCharles or DeQuan, rather. And he had a little help. But
Here
that's
we go.
A big run of 30 yards.
Right, there's a play-action pass right there. Nothing open. What does he do? He tucks it and runs it. I'd like to see him get that ball nice and tucked there. He's got it kind of out there like a loaf of bread. But I tell you what, nice job right there making something happen and getting that first down.
Now, they needed a big play, and they got it on a 30-yard scamper by the quarterback. He'll go to Napoleon, and he'll churn that little 5'5" body hard and into a pile of players, and a flag comes in flying from the defensive backfield.
Here's our call. Let's see what we got.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 95, 15 yards, first down.
Well, there's the big one. That's the big personal foul that you get. Remember, you got a 5-yard non-personal foul. Here's the 15-yard that's tacked on from the succeeding spot where the ball was finished at the end of the play. The 15 yards tacked on. See if we can see the face mask in there by number 95, Rollins. I don't know if we saw it, but must have got his fingers dragged up in there, and he yanked on the face mask, which gives you the personal foul.
Yeah, when you see the head move like that, then you figure somebody's got it. And the official down there sees it, throws the flag, first down. So you've got a 30-yard run, a 15-yard penalty at 45 yards on the last 2 plays. And Carter run out of bounds and thrown over to the West Jeff bench.
Shaw does a nice job right there, getting some penetration, hitting Carter in the backfield. And bang, right there. Should have been a tackle right there, missed tackle. He bounces out of there. Now it's trying to get outside of the pursuit, and up from the corner is number 3, Juwan Gray, setting the edge for the Shaw defense.
Top of your screen, way out there, Jordan Jones been very quiet in this game. He hadn't had much thrown to him. I don't think he's had a pass thrown to him tonight. 2nd down, 12. West Jeff trying to answer. Being chased, Ransaw in trouble. Almost tried to lateral that ball away and didn't have anybody to lateral it to, so he tucked it under wisely, protected it, and just takes the tackle and loses a yard on the play.
Never had a chance, trying to set up off a play action.
Mark Smith brought him down.
You'll see the penetration right there, also by Donald Barber, coming right up there. Nobody touches him, and no place to go. And, it's making things tough when you don't put a body on a body up front. You've got to put a body on a body up front. You can't let people just run free.
Barber and Smith combined for the tackle. Now it's 3rd down, and again, penalties and problems, or in this case, not a penalty. 3 of 8 on 3rd down. If you're in the press box, you can hear coaches yelling, there's nobody covering the man at the bottom. And quickly, one of the defensive backs, Juwan Gray, came running over as the word came in from the sideline, but flag is down, and we had some movement.
Well, what you're going to see here is he came off the boundary. So you've got to come in within the numbers. Listen to our explanation here.
Eagle shift, offense, 2-man moving at the same time. 5 yards, replay it down, 3rd down.
All right, there we go. You got the illegal shift. You also can see Cyril right there, Mr. Crutchfield, Coach Crutchfield, arguing his situation. But you had a receiver come in off the boundary. You had a back moving at the same time. At least, besides illegal shifting, you should have also had illegal participation because the wide receiver that came off the boundary did not come inside the numbers, which is a federation rule to establish that he is a player on the field.
Cyril Crutchfield ran out on the field to talk with the official, wanted an explanation as to what happened, got it, and he seems to be satisfied with it. Or he was just buying a little extra time.
Well, you can also remember this is in Canada. You can't have people moving twice, two people moving at the same time. This is not Canada. And you can't have 12 on the field. So all of those are particular problems.
And
those things got to get cleaned up.
Bring up 3rd down and 19. So again, West Jeff moving the wrong way on this drive. Ransaw looking, has a man caught by Tim Kent, his first big catch of the evening, and it's short of the first down, however, so it's inside the 40-yard line down to the 38.
It's a nice pickup on the curl route right there, but let's look back at the beginning of the play and how it started. It started with protection. All right, watch this. He sets his feet. He's not getting moved off his spot. He delivers the ball. Great pass to Tim Kent on a curl route. He had time to throw. It's about protections. That's where it started with.
13-yard gain brings up 4th down and 5, and there's no punt team here. On 4th down, West Jeff is going for it. Ransaw escapes a would-be sack, and he throws it. It's almost picked off by Luke Cahill, and West Jeff will turn the ball over on downs on their first offensive possession of the second half.
Shaw brings the blitz again. Nobody to pick it up. He gets forced off his spot. He has to scramble out there, and ball is almost picked off. Got a flag on the play here.
Hold it, flag down. So hold up everything.
Here's your blitz. Here's your blitz. He's forced off of his spot. No place to go. Throws it away. Almost picked off. Still waiting for an explanation. Here we go.
The play, holding. Defense, number 1. 10 yards. Results of the penalty makes it a first down.
Well, Bradley Davis got caught with the hold, and that's a big break for West Jeff because they had lost it on downs, and the penalty allows them to keep the football.
All right, we need to understand now that holding on defense or a defensive interference penalty is no longer an automatic first down. It's 10 yards from the previous spot, which in this case gives the West Jeff Buccaneers a first down.
Yeah, it was 4th and 5.
Right, so gives them the first down.
That gives them the first down.
But it was not automatic. That's
inside the third. Correct. And there's a pass. It is caught by Jones. We said he had been quiet in this game. Well, he just made some noise for the first time, bumps off 2 tacklers, and goes down inside the 5-yard line, all the way down to the 2.
Here we go. Look at this. Great protection on his spot, throws the ball. Great seam route
one.
Right there. Missed tackle.
There's 2.
And George Jones picks it up. Wow.
They're going to mark it back at the 3-yard line.
It all starts with the protection, Ken. Everything, as long as you can protect, Jordan's got 2 receptions, 59 yards. And that allows, Ranson to stay in there, in that pocket, step up into the football.
Go out of the I formation, give it to Carter. Their senior running back is going to dive into the right side of the line, but Shaw closes the door and keeps him out of the end zone.
Running out of the I formation. I have counted at least 7 different formations tonight that West Jeff has lined up in, and that does not include swing and gate. He has a multitude of formations tonight, which could be a problem. Some of his guys might not know where to go and what they're doing with all of the formations they're lining up in.
Yeah, remember, this is only the 3rd game of the season. Are they going to go to Carter again? This time the quarterback will keep it himself. He is in the end zone, and it is a touchdown for Coley Ransaw. West Jeff is on the board for the first time in the home debut for Cyril Crutchfield as the head coach of this program.
I'll tell you what, that Buccaneer cannon has always given me a heart attack. It just gave me a heart attack just now.
Yeah, the brief pause in our speaking was me picking weight up off the floor.
I'm telling you, every time I coached in this stadium and there was a score by West Jefferson, I about lost my mind because of that cannon. But, let's talk about that drive for a minute, Ken.
Look
two
at the
big
smoke in that
passes.
cannon. Ransaw did it.
Two big passes. Ransaw puts the ball on the money, but what does it start with? Started with the protection. He wasn't getting forced off of his spot. He was standing there. He wasn't getting moved because of the rush. They were picking up any blitzes, and it started with the protection.
They're going for two. Ransaw, play action, has a man. He can also run. He fakes the throw, lost the football, and it's dived on and recovered by Shaw's Mark Smith. So they missed the two-point conversion, but Coley Ransaw, the 6'5 senior quarterback, brings West Jefferson to the promised land here on their opening drive of the first half with that score, 21-6, Shaw. Welcome back to Haas-Memphis Stadium, where West Jeff gets on the board for the first time on a 9-play, 84-yard drive that was aided by a fourth down penalty. Holding on the defensive back by Shaw kept the West Jeff drive alive. They got into the end zone, and Alan Isaac puts it into the air for West Jeff. It'll come down to Regas. Regas looking for a seam up the middle. Has one, but it closes quickly as he dives past the 35-yard line. And that's where Shaw will have it. Wednesday nights on WHNO, it's the Prep Recruiting Insider, our series focusing on the world of high school recruiting. Rick Gailey and Renee Nadeau take an in-depth look at the best prospects in our area, past and present, on location from NOLA Motorsports Park in Avondale. It's PRI, the Prep Recruiting Insider, each Wednesday at 6, right here on WHNO TV 20. And this week, South Lafourche is coming from down the bayou. They're going to probably talk about Bobby Hebert back in the old days, but they're coming to talk about a pretty good football program. First down, they give it to Regas. Regas on the run. Regas will just try the left side and push forward for a few yards, but this has been a Shaw football program, again, that threw one pass in the first half. It was a touchdown pass to cap the first drive of the game. That 8 yards passing was all they did. They kept it on the ground.
Well, it's been a steady dose of Regas all night long, and he's got, a few things left to do this season. He's in the running to be the all-time leading rusher in Shaw history, and he's on track to do it.
He's making the case for it tonight. We talked about how important it was to stop him, and that's one thing West Jefferson has not been able to do. Regas again, very close to the first down. I think he's moved the chains. Let's look at the all-time. Look at Chiron Carey. Daniel Bourne, Chiron Carey. There's Trey Regas. Third place.
Well, I'll tell you what, some great names right there on this. Chiron Carey and Daniel Bourne, excellent athletes right there. Trey Regas is on, I guess you would say, task, is on target to do that, depending on how the rest of his season goes. And, of course, hopefully, knock on wood, he avoids injury. It's always good to see guys set records like that at their schools, things that they'll always remember. He's running the outside zone right there, and he digs upfield, and he just gets tripped up before he could have possibly gone a long way right there.
Well, we have just passed the water break spot, so Shaw was coming out, and I'll tell you, Bainsfather was really holding a pretty good conversation with the officials on this.
Well, I think he was talking about where the spot was, Ken.
I thought he might have been talking about stopping for the water break right in the middle of that drive and stopping the momentum. Anyway, before we get to that, let me remind you that for the latest news on high school, college, and pro sports in Louisiana, visit sportsnola.com. In addition to unique opinions from our team of area writers, check out Louisiana's best prep football scoreboard sponsored by the All-State Sugar Bowl. And our first NBC Bank video updates. It's all at sportsnola.com.
I think what he was arguing about there, Ken, was he felt like he got a poor spot on that, which would have brought up third and a lot less than what he's looking at third and long.
He was looking at 3rd and a half.
Right.
And he ended up getting 3rd and 2. And that's what he was arguing.
He was arguing the spot.
He was arguing the spot. Now it's 3rd down 2. Somebody moves. And was, let's see.
I think what you saw right there is you saw West Jeff offensive lineman being drawn off sides.
Number 90.
There you go.
5 yards.
Again, they kill the play right there. He jumps off sides into the neutral ground. Federation rules are the minute you encroach into that neutral ground, which is the length of the football, play stops, and the penalty is assessed.
Yeah, I mean, that's my question for you, I think, would be as Regas takes it right up the middle for another first down, all the way down to the 36-yard line. How does the nose guard jump when he's looking right at the football? Did he see movement and just think that because somebody moved, he could have been drawn offside?
Well, it's just, once again, you've got to be self-disciplined. There goes Regas right up the middle on what they call counter tray. Backside guard, tackle, pull, get the kick out on the force. Regas fits himself right up inside off the back tie, tackles hips.
Fabulous numbers. 16 rushes, 182 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's adding to that 182 right now as he swings around the left side. He's pushed out of bounds short of the first down.
You know, getting back to jumping off sides right there when you're lining up on the ball, that's self-discipline, Ken. That's the bottom line. And that, you know, Coach Crutchfield and his staff will address all those things when they see it on film. And look, been there, done that. You know, you're lined up on the ball, you can't make that mistake.
Boy, Regas is maybe breathing a little hard right there, but he has been the workhorse tonight. And again, you looked moments ago at the list of where he is in 3rd place on the all-time career rushing list. He's a little under 1,100 yards. He's doing a pretty good job of getting a chunk of them tonight. Tries the middle and nowhere to go. So West Jeff stuffs him.
Well, that was counter Trey.
Hasn't happened often tonight, has it?
Right, that was counter Trey right there. West Jeff does a good job, but if you'll see the play, the replay, you'll see the guard coming right here. There comes the kick right into your lap. There's the kick. There's the seal. I'm going to tell you right there, Regas missed the hole. Regas missed the hole, runs into the pile. Nice job by the defense of West Jeff stacking it up. The helmet comes off. He'll have to come off for a down. They'll bring another running back on. And he may go over and get a drink of water also, and there he goes, getting a drink of water.
Best defense right now for West Jeff is to try to take his helmet off every play he comes in and let him sit out of play. Just let him run the football every other play. That young man has worked hard tonight. Good shot right there of Trey Regas. Runs hard, good vision, good balance. He might lack that breakaway speed, but what we've seen tonight, he's had enough to make it work when he's needed it. 3rd down, 5. Flags down.
Well, they brought up Denzel McCoy in as the running back to replace Regas. You can see a legal procedure call.
That's a loss of 5.
Well, they brought in Denzel McCoy, as I said, 5'8", 145-pound senior running back, number 33, while they give Regas a blow right there, get some water. But he moved, and thus you have the penalty, and Shaw's backed up and now facing a long second down.
Cyril's saying, wait, that don't count as a play. It shouldn't come back in. Yes, it does count as a play. He comes back in. Regas is back in the game now, and we're back to, I'd like to say 3 yards in a cloud of dust, the old saying, but with Regas in the game, it's more like, hey, Shaw's going to drop back and throw. He's got a man wide open, over-the-shoulder catch for a touchdown by Denzel McCoy, put right on the money by Matt Keller. And if they were expecting Regas to get the ball, this time Shaw goes to the air for the second time. 35-yard touchdown play for the score.
Well, off of play action. So you feed Regas all night, you feed Regas all night, you feed Regas all night. You fake the stretch, you set your feet, and hit the backside post. That's how it works. Secondary is in a bind. They're coming up to support the run on Regas because they got shootout at halftime about it. What do? You throw the ball behind them off of play action. Great pass. Great catch. Nice job execution.
Peyton Dufour puts the exclamation point on it, and it's 28-6. Shaw with the lead on a pretty pitch and catch play. Keller to McCoy for the score. Back to Haas Memphis right after this. There was a penalty on that kick, so Shaw will have to re-kick the extra point. So Peyton Dufour chunks it right up, and good a second time, and now it's 28-6. And let's go downstairs to Stephanie Altman on the field with a special story about this stadium tonight.
Thank you, Ken. This month marks the 45th anniversary of the death of former West Jefferson head coach Haas Memphis, who passed away from a heart attack the day after the first home game of the 1970 season. Ray Latouf took over that year and guided the Buccaneers to their one and only state championship. Both coaches are displayed on a plaque at the stadium that bears Memphis's name.
See the stadium press box named after Harold Haas Memphis. We're up there in our little perch with a bird's eye view of what's going on down on the field. Just an absolutely gorgeous facility for prep sports.
Well, they've done some upgrades in the past 4 or 5 years. They've built a very nice field house for the Buccaneers, and they've done a nice job redoing their press box and putting in an outstanding turf field. It's really a first-class facility.
The field house is named for another West Jeff coach, Henry Crosby. Shaw sends it deep. Napoleon looking for some room, and he can't find it, but returns out to the 24-yard line.
Again, great coverage right there. I need to go back and correct myself on that touchdown pass. There wasn't any play action on that. That was straight sprint out by Keller. He sets his feet and he throws the backside post. It was a beautiful pass, but there was no play action that time. Really, the secondary from West Jeff had no reason to bite on some sort of run play.
Well, again, West Jeff and Shaw have each had the ball one time here in the second half with 4 minutes to play in the third quarter, and they've each scored. West Jeff went for the two-point conversion, didn't get it. And they've got to continue to answer Archbishop Shaw's scoring with scores of their own.
Right. Well, the thing they got to do is they got to make sure they continue running their offense and stop making mistakes.
Good play action there. Ransaw, no one to throw to, so he'll tuck the ball under and get out to the 25, maybe 26-yard line. They'll mark it at the 25. Good stop by Mark Smith.
The route combination right there, Ken, was a slant curl off of the play action right there. Shaw did a nice job in the secondary covering the slant and the curl. The slant and the rail. Slant and the rail behind it right there. Nobody's open, so he tucks it. Smart quarterback, does not make a poor throw and gets what he can get.
Well, what he got out of that was just a couple of yards. And that might not sound like a lot, but West Jeff is not starting from behind the chains right now, which is more important on this drive if they want to try to keep it going.
Well, that's what I said, trying to make sure he could get what he could get on the play.
Ransaw's got a man, split the backs, and again, Ransaw just couldn't get it to Napoleon, but another flag is on the field. Penalty.
Same route combination to his right, just missed the receiver. It was slant rail.
Ineligible receiver down the field on this one.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense, number 52. 5 yards. Replay third down.
That's one of your big offensive linemen, Joseph Barbie.
Let me explain what I was talking about on a slant rail combination. The outside receiver is coming in on a short slant route to the inside, while the number 2 receiver is running an outside route down the boundary, what they call a rail route. Okay, that was the combination we saw out of the 2 receivers on this past 2 plays. Everybody was covered the first time, and quarterback just overthrew it the second time.
So now with the penalty, Markoff. Buccaneers are behind the chains. Ransaw lots of time. The pocket held for him, and he finds a man underneath. That's David Carter out of the backfield with a good move, hurdles over a player, and Carter has the first down and a lot more. And again, when West Jeff has needed the big play, they've been getting them. They're just not putting enough of them together, and they've got to stay away from the penalties. Watch it again.
Well, look at him. He's not getting pressured, steps up into the pocket. Everything was covered downfield. He dumps the ball off to Carter, who has a lot of running room right there, and picks up another first down.
So now on the West Jeff side of the 50 at the Eagles 45. Ransaw working from the gun. This time flag is thrown, and the play is stopped. Illegal procedure.
Dead ball foul. False start. Offense, number 4. 5 yards, still first down.
That's receiver Tim Kent just too excited.
You know, I mean, there's your wide receiver. Why is he moving? He needs to be looking at the ball. You don't move until the ball moves. That's a fundamental thing that you learn as a wide receiver, that you're out on the flank. When the ball moves, that's when I move. I don't move. If I do, it's illegal procedure. We're starting behind the sticks again after
Look at
a really
Carter.
nice play.
41 yards rushing, 66 receiving, over 100 total yards tonight. He has been such a workhorse back there. Doesn't have a lot of points on the board to show for it, but he has been so productive for this West Jeff team. Now watch the pressure coming from the outside. And is stepping right into it. Ransaw has running room. He's got the first down and more inside the 25-yard line. So the pressure came from the outside. Ransaw took it in the midside, 25-yard gain, and right now West Jeff's reeling off some big yardage.
Here comes a blitz off the edge. He steps up into the pocket. Everything's run off. The secondary is gone, so he takes off and makes the yardage that's needed to pick up the first down. Good awareness right there. Very good awareness.
Now he'll step up under center from the usual shotgun formation. It's a handoff to Carter all the way. Carter around the left side has a little bit of a head of steam and is hard to bring down. It's finally pushed out of bounds by Juwan Gray.
Running the outside stretch. This is their version of it from underneath center. Great run right there. And I'll tell you what, Carter runs hard. There's your stretch play. Nice edge block, nice stretch block, and nice block right there by the tight end Degree. Setting the edge so Carter could get onto the edge and pick up the needed yardage for the first down.
It's all West Jeff needed on that play was to move the chains, and they did. And Carter right there, David Carter, the senior running back, 185 pounds of bulldozing power. Cyril Crutchfield knows he's got a weapon. Again, Ransaw not from the gun, working under center, but this time it's play action. He's going to run for his life in the backfield. He's in trouble. He's got it dropped back at the 16-yard line. It'll be a loss of 1, and he had to scramble back to avoid catastrophe.
Well, he gets back to the line of scrimmage. You'll see right here, untouched, coming off the block. You've got Donald Barbera flushing him out and then coming from behind and making the tackle right there. He did a good job getting back to the line of scrimmage.
Second down, 11. Nearing the 1-minute mark of the third quarter. Important for West Jeff to get some points on the board to get right back in this ball game. As play action, quick pass, another drop. This one by Tim Kent, the 4th drop of a Coley Ransaw pass. Frustrating for that young man at quarterback, frustrating for Tim Kent.
Hitch route by Kent right here. First of all, catch the ball. He takes his eyes away from the ball. He's trying to get his head around as fast as he can and try to pick up yardage. But fundamentals, you got to make sure you catch the ball first.
Juwan Gray covering, made sure he didn't get that ball off a bobble. Frustrating for the coach. He knows he's had some opportunities tonight. Cyril Crutchfield trying to rebuild the program in his first year as the head coach here at West Jeff. Play action again. Ransaw's got room to run if he wants to take it. He will. He's inside the 10. He's inside the 5. Stretches his body into the end zone. It's going to be close. Touchdown! Touchdown, Coley Ransaw. He scored both of the touchdowns for West Jeff, and sometimes you have to do it yourself, that time on a 16-yard run.
Once again, great awareness right there. I tell you what, that cannon didn't get me that time. You know why? I saw it on the monitor. I knew it was coming. Maybe that's what I needed for all those years I was playing over here. I needed a monitor sitting there showing me the cannon, but that would have meant they'd been scoring on.
Hey, Andrew and Lenny down in the truck took care of you. They gave you the warning. You knew it was coming. You could brace yourself.
I did brace myself.
He was hugging the pole up here, I can tell you now.
But I tell you, back to Ransaw for a minute. What a great job of awareness and knowing where he is, nothing open, and just scooting right up the field and getting that touchdown and stretching out. What a great athletic play.
2-point try the first time didn't work. They'll stay with Carter on the ground. He's got it over the right side. And it's a 28-14 ball game. West Jeff has pulled within 2 scores of Shaw with less than a minute to play in the third quarter of this one. Another look at this touchdown, and it's a pretty one.
Sets his feet right there off the pass. Started with what? Protection. Nothing was open, so what does he do? He's going to do it himself, and he's going to stretch, and what a play into the end zone by Ransaw. Great job right there, great athletic play. As I said before, this young man is a weapon.
Now you can see West Jeff, and if West Jeff was going to try something with a little trickery on the kickoff, this might be the time. And this quarterback, Coley Ransaw, big 6'5", lanky, 180-pound senior, receiving some well-deserved kudos as he capped off a 7-play, 77-yard drive that took 3 minutes and 24 seconds. And Ransaw just made it happen. 1 for 2, passing for 35 yards, and 4 for 42.
Well, you know, the difference
on the
is
rushing side.
The difference is, and you're seeing it here, is when they're able to do things, whether it's Ransaw taking off because the coverage is covering the receivers or whether he is completing a pass, it starts with up front the protection. They're doing a better job with their protections.
Allen Isaac. He can onside kick, folks, but he won't here. He is going to send it deep. And it is going all the way back to Denzel McCoy. McCoy coming up with a head of steam, breaks a tackle, but not the second as he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Thursday nights on WHNO Sports, it's the John Forcade Show presented by Veterans Ford. The former Shaw, Ole Miss, and Saints quarterback is joined by co-host Mike Detillier. They'll look ahead to the football weekend and much more. The John Forcade Show, each Thursday night at 6 here on WHNO TV 20. There's more analysis with those two guys in 60 minutes than you could shake a stick at.
Well, there's a lot of experience there, too, not only from playing, but from playing at high school, college. And, you know, John coached in the Arena Football League for a while, played in the Arena Football League. Got a lot of knowledge to impart.
Well, Shaw quarterback Matt Keller many years ago was John Forcade under center, making it happen right here. This time Regas gets nothing on the left side, fighting for maybe a yard as West Jeff's going to key on him, and that might be the last play of the third quarter. It'll be Coach Scott Bainsfather's call whether he lets the clock run out. It looks like he's going to let it run out and talk to his team. So this third quarter, wait a minute. Looks like they're going to line up. Were they trying to catch him? They tried to catch him. It looked like West Jeff was looking over at the sideline, and suddenly Shaw lined up like they might try to catch him off guard, but the clock runs down to 0, and we have played 3 quarters here at Haas Memphis with Shaw enjoying a 2-touchdown lead over West Jeff. Today's game is presented by First NBC Bank, providing real customer service and relationship banking. Now with 35 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana and the Florida Panhandle. First NBC Bank, member FDIC. 12 minutes to play at a 2-touchdown lead for the Shaw Eagles. Bunched in tight. They keep it on the ground. It's Regas across the 45 up to the 46-yard line. With that last touchdown pass that Regas threw, you know it's not like John Fourcade when he played at Shaw, right? 2 of 3 for 43 yards. And 2 touchdowns, by the way.
Right. Well, I mean, once again, everybody's got a key on the run, and they're trying to stop Regas, and they slip the post route behind on that particular pass. Tell you what, Regas, he's getting so many carries tonight, he's going to need a new jersey. They're going to have to dig into
20 rushes, 194 yards.
Look at his jersey. It's hanging off of him.
Hope the budget allows for an extra one. Timeout called by Shaw.
Well, you know, it's been the Trey Regas show for Shaw tonight, but I'm really impressed with what West Jeff has done here in the second half. They've come out, they've shown a lot of life. They could have laid down, they haven't. And I tell you what, that's a credit to that man right there, getting his guys straight at halftime.
I want to remind Shaw and West Jeff fans that the Mellow Mushroom will donate 10% of your order to your school's athletics department through Saturday night. Stop by the Metairie or the Covington locations and tell your server and give back to your school with the best pizza in town. And don't forget, stay mellow with the Mellow Mushroom. So Shaw ready to go. Scott Bain's father not happy with whatever happened there. Had to call the timeout.
Well, you know, he played there, and he answered that call 14 years ago to come back, and he's done a great job. You can see the history right there. You know, 1987 state champions in Class 4A, 7-time state finalists, 19 times district champions. What a history.
And he's got a team that can compete. Keller at quarterback from the gun. He hasn't been in the gun a whole lot tonight, but he goes around the right side himself for the first down. So Matt Keller going, yes, sir, I can run it. Give Mr. Regas a rest for a little bit.
Well, it's like Coach Bain's father told me prior to the game. He is one of those traditional West Bank tough guys. He likes to run the ball. He's physical as a runner, as a quarterback. He wants to be able to make things happen as an athlete. Right there, they were able to quarterback sweep. We got a player down right there. Let's hope it's not too bad.
So while they tend to the player down and we put some binoculars on it to see who that might be, we will take a break and be back with more in just a moment. 11:07 to play in this game. A 2-touchdown lead for Shaw in what's been a good football game at Hoss Memphis. Wilson being helped off the field by the Oxner medical staff, which helps West Jefferson and always does such a great job. Matter of fact, they help all of the Jefferson Parish Public Schools. Congratulations and kudos going out to the Oxner medical staff. And it was good to see Michael Wilson also. He was favoring that a whole lot more, and as he got to this part of the sideline, he was able to walk on that foot, which was good news. And again, look at Trey Regas break a tackle before he's finally gang tackled again, and he's going to have way over 200 yards tonight. Well-earned yards.
Well, it starts up front. You know, that was the left guard, left tackle right there. Austin Biot and John Cotton running counter Trey. And this time he hits the hole perfect and picks up 7 or 8 yards. There's a flag on the play, however.
Officials are talking about it right now. Our referee is Mark Galbraith. We'll hear from him in just a moment. Good football game tonight, and good warm-up for both of these teams, because for some of these teams, including these two tonight, district play starts next week. Yeah, district play in the Catholic League, district play in the 9-5A League. 9-5A, 8-5A. Yeah, it's going to be really fun to watch. I know we have a couple of those games coming up. We're trying to get this straightened out. Here we go.
Dead ball foul, personal foul, off defense, number 2, for a punt. Kid ejected.
Well, that's Blake Gray, and he got ejected from this ball game.
Well, there's just really no room in that. Two things happen that are bad there. Number one, the young man no longer can play. Number two, it hurts his team with a 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul there. From the seceding spot tacked on to the end of the play. You know, so what's going to happen now? Here's how this is going to work according to LHSA rules. They're going to have to report the young man's name, and he'll have to serve some sort of imposed penalty by the LHSAA, whether it being he's going to have to do some sort of intervention, something along those lines, and if it happens again, he could be out the rest of the season. They've really toughened up on this rule with the LHSAA. Well, like I said, there's really no room for any type of unsportsmanlike conduct like that.
And I'm sure Cyril Crutchfield knows the rule, but he's probably talking with the official on how it happened, why it happened, where it happened, and that sort of thing.
Well, the officials are going to have to report the young man's name to the state. The state will keep it on record, and then they're going to have to come back with some sort of warning and possibly some sort of intervention program for the young man.
So
it's never pretty when this happens.
No, and while this is going on, we can take a look at the schedules to see what both of these teams have coming up, because as we said, Shaw first, you know, again, PD St. John lost to Turling Catholics, right now in control over West Jeff. They start Catholic League play in District 9 5A against Holy Cross. It's going to be a good game next week, and this is right here at Hoss Memphis. And then they play Rummel at Yenny, St. Aug at Gormley. Out of district to play Belle Chase, and then back to finish the rest of the season in the district. And here goes Regas, left side. He is inside the 20-yard line in the red zone before he is gang tackled and pushed back.
Well, as Shaw starts their district schedule last year, I like to call it the Southeastern, Western Division Conference. And now for West Jeff, they have a very tough schedule coming too. As you can see, they start with Bonneville, Helen Cox, Chalmette, John Arrett, who's an excellent football team, East Jefferson, Higgins, and then a tough Landry Walker that has moved up from as a 4A team playing in a 5A division now. That is a tough schedule for the Buccaneers.
You could say, as you look at that schedule and the games get tougher about this West Jeff team, they eliminate a few mistakes. They're in a lot of ball games. They'd be in this one again.
Right.
Encroachment or procedure?
Well, it looks like some sort of encroachment because they stopped it before the play. So that means it looks like a Shaw offensive lineman might have lined up offsides.
But you take a look at this West Jeff team and what Cyril Crutchfield is trying to do here, and again, you take away some drop passes, you take away some penalties penalties that weren't needed, and especially the penalties, and boom, they're right here in this ballgame. They could have had at least one or two more going. Here we go with another flag.
Well, I mean, those are things they got to clean up. I mean, that's
5 yards, still second down.
I mean, Shaw right here picking up two senseless, penalties.
Just moved 10 yards in the wrong direction.
Right.
You still have 9:36 to play, and you've got a 2-touchdown lead off a team that has moved the football up and down the field, but hurt themselves. So again, can't rest easy on this, and Payne's father knows it.
Right. So he's upset, and I know Cyril's upset about his penalties that he had in the first half. But like I said, they've come out the second half, and they've cleaned some things up, and they're really sticking right in there as far as how they're playing with a lot of effort.
Well, as Regis takes this run, Shaw had 2 penalties in the first half, and now they've had 6 already in the second half of this game. But look at, goodness gracious, look at Regis as he gives the extra effort and almost gets the first down.
That's called finishing the run, Ken. He finishes the run. Good running backs, north and south, finish runs. They don't get knocked backwards. They don't get knocked sideways. They're always finishing forward, picking up that extra yard, half yard, inch, whatever it's needed. That's what this guy does.
It should have been 3rd and 3, maybe 3rd and 4. The extra effort makes it 3rd and 1. Quarterback sneak, and Keller will take it over for the first down. Keller has it.
I talk about all the time about a lot of fundamentals, and you can see Regis's numbers right there: 23, 220 yards, 2 TDs. He's been a workhorse tonight, but what he does...
He's winded. Look at him. He's just breathing hard. You can tell.
Well, you'd be winded too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm telling you...
I'm winded watching him.
Right, but I'm telling you what he does is he's a fundamental downhill runner with great vision. He doesn't have that blazing 40 speed, even though he's faster than both you and I, but he finishes runs, and he's hard-nosed.
And here he goes again. He's going to scoot to the outside and cuts back to the inside, and he's inside the 5, and there comes a flag flying in from the sideline. So I don't know if somebody grabbed a piece of the face mask at the very end, but I am so impressed with Trey Regis, and he has put on a show tonight. And he just continues to pile up the numbers. We said earlier when we looked at the list of all-time rushers at Shaw, he needed just around 1,100 yards. He's going to approach 300 tonight.
Assisting the runner, number 61, 5 yards, hit it down.
All right, assisting the runner. All right, 32 years of coaching. I have never seen that called.
Really?
32 years, never seen it called.
Well,
now, I've screened for it. I've screened for it a few times.
Oh,
it looks like he's all tangled up in there. They called the wrong number. It was number 33. It was McCoy. But I'm going to tell you what. I've called for it a few times. I've screamed about it a few times. I've ridden officials' rear ends about it a few times. That is the first time I have ever seen it called. I think Scott's a little upset. I don't blame him.
Look at him.
I don't blame him.
Denzel McCoy, by the way, was the guy who wrapped his arms around Regis. Watch it again.
Regis running downhill. But watch him finish this run. Watch this. Cut. Boom. He's falling forward. Look at the face mask right there that they missed. They missed the face mask on number 17.
Boom.
Eating the runner. That's a new one. Great cut.
Now they give the ball to Regis anyway, and here he goes. Into the end zone. Touchdown. He goes back and gets it on one play from the 17-yard line and takes it in himself. 34-14. What else can Trey Regis do in this football game tonight?
Well, right there, he runs the inside zone. He gets into the hole. He presses the hole, hits it vertically, and then all of a sudden it opens up and he cuts to his left with a great cut, which takes him into the end zone.
Third touchdown tonight.
This guy is a college football player, has it written all over him. He has a few offers already, one from Tulane, one from Ole Miss. I think he has one from Arkansas, if I'm not mistaken. These guys, whoever continues to offer him and whoever he commits to, is going to get a really, really good football player.
35-14, Shaw with the lead. And they've got 8-16, West Jeff does, to try to get some more points on the board. But you've just got to go back and give more kudos to Trey Regis because he is just unbelievable.
Look at this cut right here. There's that cut right there. He changes the ball into his other hands. He has the ball high and tight. He's fundamentally sound. Finishes runs. This guy is going to be a great college running back.
Slow motion did not do justice to that cut. It was a great look at it, but in real real-life action, boom, that cut was right on the dime.
And you could say it.
25 rushes, 254 yards, 3 touchdowns tonight, and still has 8:16 on the scoreboard, on the clock.
Now, what's Jeff's got to do? Let's talk about that for a second. They can't panic here. Let's get back into making sure we move the ball, put together a good drive, answer something with some points on the board, get some points on the board so that way that confidence continues to build. They've got 8:16. They've got their timeouts. They've got definitely enough weapons that they can do this with. Let's don't panic. Let's make sure, and I'm sure Coach Crutchfield is telling his kids that, let's make sure that we get points on the board and we answer.
This copyrighted telecast of the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of WHNO TV 20. Ball broke the plane. It'll come out. You know what? I like reading this disclaimer so much. I'm going to read it one more time. This copyrighted telecast of the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise redistributed or used in any form without the express written consent of WHNO TV 20 and Coach Wade Kaiser.
Oh, thank you very much. The average starting field position tonight for the Buccaneers has been the 21-yard line. That says a great job for those Shaw kickoff coverage teams. A guy that loves special teams, that's very important.
And I think there was only one that went out beyond the 20, and it was at the 42-yard line. So if you take a look at that, you're right. When you're starting way back deep in your territory, sometimes it makes it extra tough. Napoleon nowhere to go, and he'll be pushed out of bounds. So the Shaw drive was a 9-play drive, took 4:28 off the clock, went 60 yards, and Regas took it over from Regas on the score from 17 yards out.
I'll tell you what, that's a good start right there. They pick up a few yards on a swing out to Napoleon, thank you. And, they're picking up positive yards right there. Those are things that they've got to do right here. And they continue trying to make sure you run your offense, stay within yourself, and let's get some points on the board.
Coley Ransaw. He'll throw a few short, and then they'll find a way to open up somebody long. Going deep this time, has man coverage, and that time Tim Kent got caught up with the defensive back and could not break loose to catch the football.
They pumped a little bubble underneath, and they tried to send Tim Kent long. Trent King, number 7 for Shaw, does not bite. You can see the numbers on Coley Ransaw right there tonight, 212 yards passing, 57 yards rushing. I'm impressed with this young man. He will only get better as the year goes on.
And 2 touchdowns rushing. He's got both of the West Jefferson scores. 4 of 10 on third down conversions for this West Jeff team. And while that might not look impressive, sometimes they penalize themselves on third down into such a hole they just couldn't fight their way out of it. A few times they did. They'll keep it on the ground this time to David Carter.
Carter's had a good night. I think the young man runs hard. He also finishes his runs off. He's a strong young man. He does a nice job protecting the football. He's got to make sure that it's seated correctly from the quarterback so it doesn't get put on the ground. But I feel he's had a good night so far.
This is a 4th down coming up. No punt. So it's 7:33, 7.5 minutes to play in this game. Cyril Crutchfield says, we've got to get 3 yards. We've got to get 3. They're going to put it in the hands of Carter. Is he going to get the 3? And he's to the 30-yard line. It's going to be very, very close. This will depend on the spot. I don't think he got it. So they put it in the hands of their best running back, their senior starting running back, David Carter. And he is not going to make it because the first down marker is right at the 30, and it is spotted inside the 30-yard line. Still ask for a measurement.
Well,
right?
Okay. Well, I mean, let's kind of talk about what is going on here and why Cyril Crutchfield went for it right here.
I think he had to. I think it was a good call.
Well, he's challenging his team, Ken. He's challenging them to say, guys, right here, we're going to see what we're made of to get these 3 yards. He's arguing where the spot was. It came up a little bit short. He's arguing that the spot should have been at least at the first down mark, the mark to get, but the official didn't see it that way. But you know what I like? I like that he challenged his team.
Yeah, I
like how he challenged his team right there. And, those are little moments early in the season that really pay off down the road later in the season.
So at the West Jeff 29-yard line, Shaw takes over. And who do they give it to? Trey Regas over the right side. Regas had 272 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns in the first 2 games. He's going to be at about 3 tonight. So after tonight, he's going to be very close, if not over the 500-yard rushing mark. And guess what? 3 games into the season, and he is almost halfway to where he needs to be to become the all-time leading rusher in Shaw history.
Well, he starts the SEC West next week, so I mean,
you're right.
And that's not to take anything away from West Jeff or from Turlings or everybody that they've played so far this season. But I'm going to tell you, he's going to see some really stiff defenses starting within the next few weeks in the SEC West.
Yeah, when you get a game like this, they say the good news is Regas has a game like this where he's just driving through. The bad news is everybody's going to see the film, or they're going to see this on the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase replay or tape delay, and guess what? You're going to be keying. They're going to be keying on this young man.
Let me say this. All right, he starts. I'm calling it the SEC's West. It's a Catholic week, the Catholic League next week. You see 27 rushing, 272 yards, 3 TDs. But let me say this: every team in the Catholic League has a solid running back, and we'll see that. And if you look at the stats of all the teams in the Catholic League, you'll see that.
Regas again. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
These teams in the Catholic League coming up that we will see in the next few weeks, they can all run the football, Ken. They can all run the football. You've got Shaw that runs the football well. JT and John Curtis will run the veer. Rummel running downhill. Everybody runs the football.
This is the hydration break, the water break. And we're going to take this break with him. And yes, Regas already over 500 yards to his the 1,100 yards he needed to become the all-time leading rusher at Shaw. We will take the break and be back in just a little while. Shaw in control at Hoss Memphis. Welcome back to Hoss Memphis, where Shaw in control, 35-14. Is about to punch another one on the board. And again, this is because West Jeff went on it went for it on 4th and 3, deep in their own territory, and a play that we all agree with up here in the booth. They came up a yard short, just didn't make it. And now Shaw really trying to run clock. They've just had a short field, and it's so hard to stop Trey Regas. Keller, the quarterback, will keep it himself, and he'll take it into the end zone for the touchdown on the run around the end from 5 yards out.
Quarterback sweep. Got a great kick-out block over there on the corner. The corner coming up to force the sweep inside. What you didn't have from the defense right there, Ken, was in the inside-out pursuit. Nice run by Keller. Tacks on another one.
So Shaw about to make it 42-14 off the strong toe of Peyton Dufour if he kicks it through. And once again, I'm going to say this as a compliment to West Jeff in this game. You're looking at a score that probably doesn't show how well West Jeff moved this football up and down the field. Good with the point, 42-14. And we'll talk a little bit more about the West Jeff efforts in just a moment, because we do want to remind you that the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase heads to St. Charles Parish next week for one of the biggest rivalries in the metro area as Destrehan meets Hanville. Watch it live Friday night on SportsNola.com and catch the tape delayed broadcast next Saturday at noon on WHNO. That's Destrehan and Hanville next week on the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase. So let's take a look now at the 5A Sports NOLA top 10 poll. No doubt that the Catholic League is dominating, including Rummel with the strong team they have up at the top. But look at Destrehan right there, number 5. And even though Hanville's not in the top 10, you know Nick Saltapomaggio is going to have that team ready to play.
Well, I'll tell you what, Destrehan, looking at them at number 5 right there, they have John Eyre tonight, which is a very good football team. And I don't know a score of what's going on over there right now, but I tell you what, that's a big one tonight. And in that top 10, you've got some excellent football teams around the state.
Including C.E. Bird, who, just blew Calvary Baptist out on Thursday night. Just a fabulous win for them up in North Louisiana. This one is deep in the end zone. Ball breaks the plane, automatically comes out dead football. Napoleon cannot return it.
To our fans at home, everybody needs to realize in high school, everything's about protecting the athlete. One of the reasons why they cannot bring the ball out, Ken, out of the end zone is to protect that returner. So the ball is dead. It comes out to the 20-yard line. The minute it breaks that goal line, it becomes a dead ball, and it's moved to the 20. Unlike in college or unlike in high school. In the pros.
And if you're a coach, you want your kicker to put it in there as much as you can, eliminate the return.
That's a huge weapon.
Yeah,
huge
absolutely.
Weapon.
Make them go 80 yards and eliminate the possibility of that long return for a touchdown. Here again, Coley Ransaw on the run, has the first down on first down.
Great awareness right there. Nothing open. What does he do? He tucks and runs it, knows where the sticks are. He runs, gets to the sticks for the first down, and gets out of bounds, doesn't take the hit. Right here. Nothing open. Directing traffic.
Flag is going to call this one back.
And that's a shame because I tell you what, that was a really nice awareness job by the quarterback, realizing what's taking place.
Very, and I love to use this word with a quarterback, very cerebral young man.
Yeah, very smart young man, and you can see, I think he's going to do great things the rest of the season. Cyril Crutchfield is an outstanding coach. He'll make sure that he's all schooled up and ready to go, and he's a bright young man. You were telling us his GPA earlier.
Coach has said on a 4.0 scale, he's off the charts. They can't even measure it. He'd be up around 4.95, and that good in the classroom as well as on the field. A lot of poise, too. Look here, even under pressure, and they've got him. His progress was right at the half-yard line. So no safety. Progress right at the half-yard line. And he's a little slow to get up, Wade.
Right, brought a blitz right there. Nobody to pick up the blitz. Here we go. Right there. Needed to get rid of the ball right there. Couldn't. Here comes the rest of the white jerseys, and they pull him down, and his momentum would take him into the end zone, so they'll mark it outside at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, Mark Smith, almost for a big defensive lineman, got a couple of points on that one. Mark it right there at the 1.
He held on the ball a little too long right there. He needed to get rid of that football.
Yeah, and I think he probably needed to throw it away. He was looking for somebody open. Nobody was open, and that's why sometimes back there you just got to get rid of that football. This one tossed out, and unable to hold it is Damian DeGrew. We haven't seen him thrown to tonight, so he's a big 6'3" junior tight end.
Almost picked off right there by Arthur Major, a senior, 5'9", 170-pound defensive back, reserve defensive back for the Shaw Eagles. He'd have picked that. He would have walked into the end zone and done a dance because there was nobody around.
DB's dream. You don't get too many of those, too many opportunities. You like them when you can get them. So from the shotgun, 5 yards deep in his own end zone. Ransaw, flag is thrown. He's got a man open at the 15-yard line. That's Napoleon, but this one may be coming back. If this is holding in the end zone, it'll be a safety, right?
Right. If that flag is holding, which in all intents and purposes it looks like it takes place in the end zone. That's a 2-point safety. Let's see what our call is. They're talking it over. They're discussing the ramifications.
On the play, hold. Offense, number 50 in the end zone. Zone penalty.
There you go. There's your explanation. Number 55 on the hold, and that was in the end zone, and that is a safety. Kenny Vitale was on the hold. Let's see if we can see it. There it is on the right of your screen. That's a takedown. Look at that, around the head. Yes, that is a takedown. That is a hold. Good call right there. And that is a safety because it does take place inside the end zone.
Oh, man.
My goodness.
Sometimes it's just not going your way. 2 points.
All right.
Join the total for Shaw on the scoreboard to make it 44-14. And now West Jeff will have to punt it away. You know, I realize it's not a high school rule, but a lot of people are not aware that they changed one rule in the National Football League where now you can get a safety on an extra point, which allows the team who gets the safety on the extra point to score 1 point.
Well, I'm still trying to
1 point.
I'm still trying in the NFL trying to grip my hand and head around kicking the ball, you know, from the 15-yard line.
And that's what everybody's thinking of, and no one has really taken a good look at that rule where now 1 point can be scored. So we may see somewhere down the road the Saints win or lose a game with the opponents having won.
Well, I'm a traditionalist. I'm having a hard time
dealing
with
that too.
Yes.
They're going to keep it pure in high school football, though. We won't have to deal with that, at least for the time being. Free kick. And West Jeff will punt it with Rushni Noel on the punt. Caught made. Fair catch. So Shaw will have it. Denzel McCoy on the fair catch. And I would imagine now that Scott Bainsfather would just like to keep that ball on the ground, go right up the middle, eat some clock, and take a nice win to the house.
Well, you know, the thing he's going to have to do here, and he's got Denzel McCoy in there at tailback, giving Regas a blow, who's done a load of work tonight, and he's also got a new quarterback in there. So he's going to try to run that clock out. Keep it on the ground.
Handoff will be to Denzel McCoy, and McCoy will go over the right side. The new quarterback is Pete Taylor, a 5'9", 150-pound sophomore. McCoy's been in the game quite a bit, but he's been playing more as a wide receiver and a slot back. He just moves now into the running back slot to give Regas a rest.
You know, a great story tonight, Ken, is this offensive line from Shaw. You know, these guys all night have done a really nice job against a, you know, very athletic West Jeff defense.
Yes, they have, without question. Pete Taylor at quarterback under center. You won't see him do very much, but hand it off to Denzel McCoy, and McCoy bounces off the pile, and he's got some running room. Flag is thrown. This one will probably come back, but McCoy turns on the afterburners and is run out of bounds as he gets inside the 20-yard line, but there's a penalty flag thrown back at the Shaw 40-yard line.
Blocking the back, offense, number 55.
Well,
I was impressed with the bounce off the pile.
Well, you're going to see it right here. Poor tackling right here by the West Jeff defense. He bounces it off, and Justin Adams, number 55, is just trying to spring his running back and blocks in the back, and nice gains getting called back here. You know, a lot of times blocks in the back and holding penalties, those sort of things, and, you know, I'm speaking up for those offensive linemen. It's out of a lot of effort. Sometimes it can be bad technique. Their hands are in the wrong place. But a lot of times it's in effort. This was an effort by Justin Adams. It just happened to be in the back of the defensive lineman from West Jeff.
Austin Diaz, a 5'10 senior defensive lineman, checks into the game for West Jefferson. Regas getting a rest, but a night he's had 28 rushes, 278 yards, 3 touchdowns, over 500 yards this season. And one of our officials went down on that play.
Well, he got back up. He showed some resilience right there. Knock down, get up. Good job.
Got right back up.
Here's the stretch play, outside zone stretch play again. Nowhere to run. Great edge set. Great edge set by the West Jeff defense, in particular, number 8, Dejon Thompson.
Yeah, wrestled McCoy to the ground. So we're up third down, under 3 minutes to play in this one, but you just get a great look right there at Trey Regas, 6 feet, 210 pounds, a senior running back, averages just over 7 yards a carry, and I think it's going to be about 10 now. It is about 10 tonight. So.
Right. You also got in that picture right there a great look at Matt Keller, who I think has had a great night. And like I said, I remember that young man 3 years ago catching passes as a wide receiver. He was a tough sophomore, and I can remember Scott Bain's father telling me then that that's going to be my quarterback of the future. The reason being is he is one tough kid that can manage the field and make things happen for our offense.
Tulane, Arkansas, and Ole Miss have offered Regas, and he's got a choice to make. McCoy coming around the left side on his first carry.
I think we got a new
sophomore.
Right, I think we got a new running back in there.
Was that McCoy?
Yeah.
Just came around the left
Monzel
side.
McCoy, that's
sophomore.
right. Sophomore. There we go. Running the outside zone stretch right there. Got to make a cut north and south sooner or later.
Now that is Denzel's brother. Lonzel McCoy is the sophomore. Denzel McCoy is the senior. So with 2:42 to play, Peyton Dufour will punt the football away. Australian style. Doesn't get much of a roll, and Shaw will down it at the 32-yard line. And I think right now, if you're West Jeff, if you're Cyril Crutchfield, if you're building this program, you want to see this team, as you said. He challenged them before in 4th and 3, deep in their own territory. They came up a yard short. I think he challenges them now to say, get one more on the board. You just go down there and get one more on the board.
You're aggressive. You run your offense. You get after it. You challenge your kids. You try to make a statement with them so when you walk off the field tonight, when you get back in that locker room, you look in your kids' eyes and says, young men, hey, we keep fighting. This is what we do in our program, and it's going to pay off in the long run.
Bransaw's toss is caught by Tim Kent.
Great
for a
catch.
First down to the 48-yard line, 47-yard line.
Great catch right there. He lays out and catches the ball on the post route. Very nice effort right there. This is what we're talking about, continuing to compete. This is the way you build your program. Continue to compete.
Been a 3-man rush, now a 4-man rush. He'll go to the sideline this time, hit David Carter, the running back, and he cuts back in, gets a couple of extra yards before being dragged down inside the 25-yard line at the 24-yard line.
There was a slant rail route again right there. We talked about that earlier. Ransaw puts it right on the money on the rail route. Nice pickup and nice gain.
Very, very impressed with Coley Ransaw at quarterback. Not only his calm, cool composure in the pocket as he runs and gets upended. Chris Bourgeois on the stop. But he gets close enough to move the chains. He does get the first down. And what I like that West Jeff is doing right now is they're really running a 2-minute offense. They're doing a hurry up. They're not wasting a lot of time. They're getting some practice in real game situation. Carter this time nowhere to go to the middle.
Well, they're competing, and that's what I like, and they're going to compete right to the end. That's the type of teams that Cyril Crutchfield coaches. That's the type of teams he's going to make sure that he, and I'm going to say this word, raises, because he's going to raise them to that level. He's done it everywhere he's been, and he's going to do it here at West Jeff.
Carter fighting. Can't get it. And you just like to see Carter.
I think he's had an excellent night. Young man runs hard. He's been a hard workhorse. He's done a nice job.
But he hasn't broken the end zone yet.
I mean, you see everywhere Coach Crutchfield's been, he's done a great job. You can see it right there at West.
3 state championships, very, very impressive. St. Aug all the way to, in 3 seasons, brought him to the semifinal game. Little pass into the end zone, picked off. We're going the other way, Trent King. King still on his feet, is wrestled down near the far sideline.
17-yard line.
Well, I think he made a bad decision right there. I think you're going to see him. He's not going to try to throw this thing. He just tried to point it in there.
He just
he
tries
points
to
it in
push
there.
He pushed it behind Napoleon.
And then you see Trent King break on the ball and pick it off. Let's don't take anything away from Ransaw. I think Ransaw is
that might
going to
be one of the few mistakes he's made tonight.
Right. He's going to be a phenomenal quarterback going down the road for the rest of West Jeff seasons. And then you can see
nice
Trent
pick by
King
King
right there.
too. Nice pick by Trick King, and that makes every defensive back excited. That's his second interception of the season.
Yeah.
He's been one of the tackle leaders on this team. He's got 2 now, and that'll get you excited and get you fired up for the start of district play next week.
Plus, Mrs. King's going to buy video.
Absolutely. She'll be calling the station to find out how you can buy a DVD copy of this game.
Absolutely.
That should be the last play of the ball game. A 44-14 victory for Archbishop Shaw. Scott Bainsfather's team goes to 2-1 on the year, and West Jeff falls to 1-2. And West Jeff, the only thing they've got to remember from this is eliminate some penalties, eliminate a fumble, and that could have been 3 more touchdowns on the board, and you got a nip-and-tuck game right down to the very end. But credit Archbishop Shaw. They took advantage of the situations when the penalties forced West Jeff into tough situations. The West Jeff defense clamped down, didn't let them make a first down. Boom.
Right. That's absolutely right, Ken. And good picture of Scott Bainsfather right there.
All right, we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll see if we can catch up with Coach Scott Bainsfather. A win for Shaw over West Jeff. Welcome back to Haas-Memphis Stadium, where Archbishop Shaw just put on the Trey Rager show and defeated West Jefferson 44-14. Let's go downstairs to Stephanie Altman, where she has two special guests.
Thank you, Ken. I'm here with Coach Bain's father and running back Trey Rager. Trey, you had a great night tonight. How do you mentally prepare for each game?
We're just going to start off from practice for Monday. Work hard Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way to today. And just keep going and take everything we learn from practice and bring it on the field.
Thank you. And now, Coach, great win tonight. How proud are you of your team?
I'm very proud of the way we played on both sides of the ball. I thought we were good in special teams. I thought we were good on the offensive line. Obviously, Trey and Matt both played really well. I know Trey had a bunch of yards. But the big key was we kept them out of the end zone. They got in the end zone twice, but we really had a lot of good stops. We had a lot of turnover on down. So I'm very pleased with the improvement our defense made this week.
What can you take from the win tonight going into next week?
Well, next week we open up district against Holy Cross, and that's a huge game for us to get off, to kick off our league play, which is very tough. So this is going to give us a little momentum going into next week. Obviously, we did well running the ball. We threw a couple of touchdown passes, and we played pretty good defense. So hopefully that'll springboard us into next week's game against Holy Cross over here next Saturday night.
Well, thank you so much, Coach. Congratulations to both of you. Ken and Wade, back to you.
Thank you very much, Stephanie. And you better believe this was the Trey Rager show tonight. And getting the yards he got, he's well over 500 yards rushing for the season. So if he only needed, coming into this game, about 1,100 yards to become the all-time leading rusher at Shaw, he is halfway there. However, with his schedule gets tougher as district play begins.
Right. I mean, 29 carries, 278 yards, 3 TDs. He had a great night. But I like what Coach Bain's father said. Great job by his offensive line. You heard me talk about it tonight, running the outside zone, the inside zone, the counter tray. He made a living tonight with that offensive line, doing an outstanding job against a very, very athletic West Jeff defense. Really was, and fun to watch. So, man, I'll tell you what, enjoyed this game. Thank you for a great job as a color commentator tonight, and again to all of the staff for doing such a fabulous job. We want to thank all of our fans for joining us. The first NBC Bank Prep Showcase heads to St. Charles Parish next week for one of the biggest rivalries in the metro area as Destrehan meets Hanville. Watch it live Friday night on sportsnola.com and catch the tape-delayed broadcast next Saturday at noon on WHNO. For Wade Kaiser, Stephanie Altman, and our entire WHNO crew, which brings you such great pictures every week, I'm Ken Berthelot. Once again, your final score from Haas-Memphis Stadium is Archbishop Shaw 44 and the West Jeff Buccaneers 14. Hope you enjoyed the game, folks. Good night.